Hello and welcome to our annual Steelers Depot live mock draft. I am Alex Kazora, as always, for this time of year. I almost started my live stream intro, so gonna have to work out that a little bit. So we are here at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, drafting as the Pittsburgh Steelers GM, and you guys are gonna help me because you guys know I certainly need the help. I'll put up the draft on screen in just 1 second. Let me get started and get navigated, and then we'll get going. But the draft will start top of the hour at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So how you guys doing? Thanks for being here. Make sure you guys can hear me. Just let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me, and we'll get started, get things set up, and get ready to draft a 7-round mock draft through Walk the Mock. So let me go ahead and get that on screen for you guys. Kevin, Rick, Rob, John, William, Mike, Morrow, Luis, might be pronouncing that incorrectly. He's here as well. So thank you guys very much. Just let me know if you can hear me. Want to make sure the chat's working okay. And we'll get into it, talk about what we're going to do today, and hopefully draft pretty well. We'll find out together how well that goes. All right, everyone can hear me, so that is good. If you guys could like this stream, this is our biggest live stream we do of the year, and so I would like this to be the best and most populated live stream as possible. So make sure to like, subscribe, and of course, for the actual draft, follow us at SteelersDepot.com. Got Ronald, we got Jason here, Hermology is here as well, so appreciate you guys stopping by. Want to make one quick note. I'll probably mention it a couple times. This is not the same exact mock draft as last year or past years where you've had a bunch of media types or analysts or whoever Walk the Mock officially got to draft. That I don't think that happened this year. If it did, I wasn't made aware of it. So I'm just in a random room right now. We'll see who all shows up, how many people are here. If you want to do it yourself, there's a bunch of teams out there. This is the Walk the Mock draft room at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the only one at this time. So heck, if you guys want to do that, just don't cheat off my notes too, and have inside information on who we're going to take. But it looks like there's a ton of spots open, so hopefully we'll get a bunch of people in here so it's not as many bots. But there was no, to my knowledge, official kind of Walk the Mock draft as there's been in past years, but I still wanted to do something. You guys always seem to enjoy it, and so I didn't want to just skip it this year. Got Art, Infinity, Andrew, Vegas is here. Appreciate that. Audio sounds good. Rick says, "You got this, Alex. Our future depends on you." So no pressure on my part. So this will be 7 rounds. We'll see if we go through all 7 rounds. I'm going to try to, but that's a long time. We'll see exactly how quickly this draft moves along. Trades are allowed, and I think you have to really consider trading back if you're Pittsburgh, but takes 2 to tango, so we'll see what happens. Captain Spartan, Greg Smith. Captain Spartan says, "Someone take the Chiefs so we can get pick 66. Yeah, I'll trade with you. I'll move down to 31. Hello, Art. Thank you for being here. The lobby, I think, opens up here with 10 minutes left, and so once we can actually get into the draft lobby, then we can start poking around and taking a look at what we want to do. Adesso says, "Harmon or bust at 21. Should be a lot of momentum for Derek Harmon today. Certainly could be the Steelers pick. My actual last Steelers mock draft will come out next Tuesday. Will be the final predictive mock draft of the 2025 draft season." Joe, thank you for being here. The draft lobby is open, so let me go ahead and enter. Can you guys see this okay on screen? Default ranking, draft room. Let's make sure this is set up well. Let me know if you guys can see anything. I can try to resize my screen a little bit if there's anything cut off. Let me try to scroll around, and if there's anything that you can't see, you should be able to see all the player names, the picks over here when they come in. This screen has always been a little too large. I wish they would shrink that a little bit. It takes up, a third. The bottom third is kind of covered up, and I don't think we need this much space. Cut that in half would probably be better, but I can't change I can't hide or do anything with this. So let me take a look at my end. This looks good. I don't think anything's being cut off, so that's good. Captain Spartan, it's just walk the mock. It's the draft room at 8. You pick a team, but don't actually, because I don't want to have inside, literal inside trading in our mock draft. But yeah, this is the board, and so we can go through the picks here. Check out the room chat. Let's put out some feelers to potentially trade down. Now, could there be a bunch of trolls this year? Oh, there could. We've seen that in the past. So who knows how these things will go. But we'll give it our best shot and see what we do with the 6 picks we have and maybe more. Hopefully we get some additional draft capital. Just quickly, let me ask you guys before we start this pretend mock draft, what do you think Pittsburgh actually does at 21 in the real mock draft? 1 week from today, we'll be starting the 2025 NFL draft with Tennessee on the clock, and really the draft kind of starting at maybe 2 or 3. The Titans will take Cam Ward. I'm betting the Browns take Travis Hunter. And then what do the Giants do at 3? Is it Abdul Carter? Is there a chance on Shadur Sanders? Seems unlikely. Is there a wild card in there? That's kind of when the draft really starts. And for Pittsburgh at 9 with the Saints, do they go quarterback? Which I'm not convinced they will. And if not, then what happens to potentially a Shadur Sanders? Again, if you guys could like the stream, would appreciate that. I already got some strong opinions from Mike, no Jackson Dart. Ted Webb is here. Thank you, Ted. Ultimate Elite says draft Derek Harmon. Trade down 25 for Harmon, says Connor. Mike Hand says Harmon seems like a foregone conclusion. Could the Steelers trade up around 10 or so for a quarterback? I mean, they could if there's someone you love. It's hard to fault being aggressive for it, but I'm not sure if this is the climate to do it, and Pittsburgh also missing some draft capital to do so. Now, could they still do it? Sure, give up next year's picks, but I don't think that's a likely scenario. Certainly be looking at quarterback, what happens in this mock draft at quarterback. Defensive line, running back, receiver, corner, even. All things for us to talk about. Luke, this is totally what we want to do. This has nothing to do with what we think the team will do. It's our own sandbox. I'm the GM. You guys are my scouts. We're going to figure this thing out together. So this has no bearing on my opinion of what Pittsburgh will do. None of that matters for this mock draft tonight. Alexa is here. Our friend Alexa from Steelers Depot says trade down to the 27-31 range and take Derek Harmon. I would love that. That's kind of my ideal scenario and world, but will Harmon be there? Will I find a team to trade down? No idea on both those questions. Ronald says Harmon, Hampton, or trade back. John Pennington, Alex, will you go after Will Howard in the second round if you trade down and can get into the second round? Second round may be a little early, but let's do the trade down part first and go from there. Connor, am I using polls for the pick? I'm still so bad. I'm getting a new computer. I want to get a second monitor to be able to better navigate those things. So I will try to put up a poll, but it's a little messy and I'm not super great at it, but we'll do something. Just off the top, let me ask for your thoughts. If we stay at 21, who would you take personally, and assume just reasonable names are available? Obviously, don't assume that Travis Hunter will be there, but assume the names that have been discussed: Matthew Golden, Derek Harmon, Emeka Ibuka, Nick Emanwari, Marion Hampton, etc., Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe. Who would you personally take? And I'll put that up in maybe a poll just as a positional thing. So I'm going to have to turn off the screen here in just 1 second to do the poll. So just bear with me. It's going to come back, I promise. So I can get the poll up. Yeah, I don't have the most graceful way to do that right now. So polls may be a little limited, but I will do my best here for you guys. Depends how quickly the draft moves as well. All right, should be a poll up right now. Let me switch back. You guys can answer as we're a couple minutes away from the draft kicking off. See if the room chat has anything going on. Nobody talking. Everyone's secretive. Looking at some of the responses, Noah says Eamon Worry, Cardi Boy, Hampton, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon, Josh Simmons, the tackle from Ohio State. So different name in there. If Golden's on the board at 21, do the Steelers take him, Tyler? I don't know. I wouldn't think that's the first place to look, but not going to rule that out. Him coming in for a visit checks that box. Thoughts on Kyle McCord? I didn't write the report on him. I'm probably the only really mid-round quarterback I would probably take is Will Howard. I was really high on his game. Maybe Shuck, but I think Shuck's going to go earlier than initial projections. I thought even a week ago, maybe third round for Shuck, 83 overall. I don't think he'll last that long. JD Page, if Starks is on the table, I'd take safety. I'm not as crazy about Eamon Worry, though. That's fair. And Pittsburgh has done their homework on the safety position. And I don't think that's the favorite to be the pick, but I'm not going to rule it out. I think we have a room chat here. Larry is open to trading down from 2. Do we go up to 2? Let's go up to 2. Get Travis Hunter. That's our only pick probably if we go up to 2. Be a real short mock draft. But the Browns trying to move here. Wonder how many people actually ended up joining. Wonder how many bots we have here. But we're going to make it work. Just fun to hang out, do this mock draft, and just see what happens. Connor, I like Eamon Worry. Move Elliott to Joker, but I don't trust Terrell Austin to make it work. Luke, thank you very much for the kind words. I appreciate that. Mike, that was the team's actual greatest need. Just what is the Steelers' literal biggest position of need, putting aside prospect talent and who might be there at 21, just overall straight up evaluating Pittsburgh's own roster. Any chance a team that will want to come up from round 2 to get a quarterback, maybe the Giants? Mike, yeah, that is possible. I'm not going to rule that out for sure. Is that the Saints, the Giants, a mystery team? Could the Rams look to trade up from the first round? Maybe. I know they were always about F them picks, but they've drafted more. Could they look for a Matthew Stafford eventual replacement? I think that's reasonable. Wouldn't be shocking if they took a quarterback at some point within the top 3 rounds. Got our first trade offer. I now just have to remember where our trade offers were at. Oh boy. Where are the trade offers? Oh man. I do not remember where the trade offer... Where is the trade offer? Can someone tell me where the trade offer section is? Unless it got pulled? Does anybody know? Where do I check the trade offers? The bots are just, if no one's picked a team, then the AI, the bots will pick for them, like Tennessee, for example. It's just right now a bot. There's no actual owner. Where is the trade? Where can I check trade? Room chat? I don't think it's in room chat. I thought it was over here somewhere, but I'm not seeing anything. How do I make a trade? Oh man, I don't know where the trade section is at. Settings. I'm going to turn the sound on. Let me know if the sound's going to be too loud. I don't know. Oh, we're going to have to figure that out. Because I do not know. Maybe you can't know? Because he sent me a trade offer. All right, well, the Titans are officially on the clock. So the 2025 NFL Draft has started. Where in the world? Okay, there's trade. It just popped up now. So I guess you can't... I don't know how he made it because I couldn't see it, but he's made a trade offer. Okay, well, he wanted to move down. And we joked about giving up all of our selections, so this will be trading our first, third, and 2 future picks. Next year's first, next year's second, to get the second overall selection. Should we do it? Maybe he's watching. Maybe he said, hey, let's try to make this move for Travis Hunter, this rare AFC North blockbuster trade. Go up there, Get Hunter. I don't think we're going to do it for real, but let me know your thoughts before the Titans pick. The sound was extremely loud. It may be too loud, so let me know once this pick comes in and I can turn it down. This may be too loud initially, so just a heads up. And the pick is... Okay, what the heck? We're going to reject this trade. There we go. Have moved up. What are the Bears doing right now as Cam Ward goes first overall? So Chicago going from 10 to 2. And they take Travis Hunter. Is it too loud? A little bit loud? I can turn it down a little bit here. We'll play with it here a little bit, but I've turned it down the my settings a little bit on the volume. So Travis Hunter, the Bears, Ben Johnson, super aggressive in his first year. What would they have to give up here? It was number 10, a second-round pick. Dang, that was not much to go up to 2. Give up your second in next year's third. And the Browns were sending me... I had to sell the farm for 2. So what the heck? It's a pretty good deal for Chicago. You're not giving up a whole lot there. Giants on the clock. Do they take quarterback? Do they go Shadur Sanders? Too loud? Okay, let me know on this one if it's still too loud. I'm going to try to stay for all 7 rounds. We'll see. And the Giants take Shadur Sanders at number 3. Losing out on Hunter, they skip and pass on Abdul Carter. And it's 2 quarterbacks in the top 3 picks. Maybe that last private workout the Giants had with Shadur sold them. I'd be surprised if Sanders actually went 3 on draft night, but I don't have a lot of solid predictions. I'm good at predicting where quarterbacks won't go. I'm not very good at predicting where they will go. And these are all, of course, just predictions. Still a bit loud? Anyone else agree with James? I just want to double check at a consensus before I mess with the settings more. Still too loud? Okay, let me try it again. We can hopefully test it with the Patriots pick. All right, let me know after the Patriots pick. See what they do. They take Abdul Carter? They go lineman? Teteroa McMillan. Number 4 overall. All right, draft is off to an interesting start. And that was a human selection. Got a couple bots. Got a lot of bots coming up here. So, oh dang, it's a lot of bots. So, what are you going to do? We're here. Trade back, says Nate. Nate, how you doing? James, my thoughts on the report Sanders meeting not going well. Oh boy. Ad block. Not the time. This is not the time, ad block. I don't know. I just take grains of salt with every draft report right now. There's certainly been a lot of reports to counter that, including one from Adam Schefter. So I let you guys decide what to make of it. It's not gonna sway me too much, though. Yeah, I think McMillan's pretty early. Not crazy about McMillan. Not that early, at least. It's loud relative to my voice. Is it still too loud for this pick? I'm just talking to test it here quickly. As Membo goes to Jacksonville as the first lineman, not Will Campbell. Let me see if I can do some other stuff to maybe reduce volume. Yeah, I don't know. Here's my thought. Okay, if the meeting with Shadur Sanders is the Browns went back up, so the Browns are really, this is a real draft day movie scenario. Not sure what's going on there. If the meeting went bad, like I don't think it would be like contentious, where like they're yelling. It'd be, well, the meeting went fine. They had 5 hours. That's probably typical. But just afterwards, the coaches just don't get a great feel, and that's how they react afterwards. I don't think we get that sense during As the Browns take a Marion Hampton ahead of Genty. What is happening? What is going on right now? What a wacky draft. But that, you never know what could happen. In this year, without a lot of super top-end talent, it's going to get interesting. So Larry making moves, making surprises. Abdul Carter still on the board. It's very loud still? Alright, I'm going to try to really turn down the volume then. Not 100% sure why it's still so loud. Browns is the Browns. There you go. There it is, Mike. I'm going to test it one more time. Hopefully, we got 7 rounds to figure this out, though. So you're going to hear this draft noise a lot. But I don't want you to just be stuck with my voice for the next 3 hours. That's not fun for anyone. So hopefully this sounds better. Jets take Mason Graham. So your top 5 are Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Shadur Sanders, Tetaroa McMillan, Armin Membu, and then a Marion Hampton, followed by Graham. Panthers on the clock. We got to start thinking about what we're going to do. I never saw poll results either. I don't know. I got to figure that out. That sounds better? Okay, perfect. I'm glad we have it set then. Remind me to turn this back up for a Monday live stream because I turned down the audio on one of my channels pretty low. Did we trade up for Abdul Carter? Let's not start the TJ Watt speculation there. Get some real cryptic stuff if we do that. But there it is from Joe. Yeah, the computer hopefully will be a little more logical, but hopefully more fun. I want it to be kind of entertaining too, not just they're just drafting the best player based on basic criteria, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. We're going to make it work. As the Panthers see who they select. There's Will Campbell. Not sure if he's going to go to guard. What's going to happen with Icky over there, but those are Panthers problems to have. Man, what if Ashton Genty falls? I know, a whole running back first round, but there's a guy worth taking it. It's him. Look for trade back, says Amon. Okay, we'll look. We'll try. Abdul Carter's still on the board. No one wants Abdul Carter. Do the Saints take him? Someone's got to take him here real soon. Said D-line 64%, quarterback 30%, running back 5%. Gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, Genty. If he slips, man, let's make it happen. Let's trade next year's picks. We don't need them. See what the Saints do at 9. You wouldn't think they'd go quarterback, but who knows with the way this top 10 is gone. The Raiders on the clock at 10. The Saints at number 9. They select. There's Abdul Carter. Man. To sit at 9 and still get Abdul Carter. It's a good place to be for the Saints. I'm going to put up a poll here a little bit earlier. I know it may not totally reflect who's on the board, but I want to give you guys time to answer and myself time to make the poll in my very boomer way of trying to make all the buttons work. Go get Genty before Dallas. Yeah, people are saying, hey, if Genty's there for sure, we're going to talk about that. William, I don't know how the real GMs could handle all the calls. They'd be getting at 9 and 10 with these guys on the board for sure. But I think the Saints probably handled that by saying, we're not trading. We're going to decline, not even pick up the phone. We're going to turn in the card, sprint to the podium, take Abdul Carter. What do the Raiders do at 10? Let's find out. Las Vegas, new regime, Pete Carroll's first pick. Who is it? There's Ashton Genty right into the Raiders' lap. We have a trade offer. I don't know from who. Our friend Larry. Ooh, let's see here. Move down to 33. Get a third, a fourth. Give up a sixth. That's not terrible. We're pretty far away from picking. But that's actually not a horrible... It's better than the first trade offer the Browns sent us. We give up... Wait. Do I have it backwards? No, I have it backwards. I think I'm looking at this wrong. We give up 21, our third and a fourth. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I had that totally read wrong. Yeah, no, that's a terrible trade offer. You guys are probably yelling at me in the comments, and that's fair. The Niners. What do they do? Yeah, I had that backwards in my head here. So that's what you guys are here for, to keep me on the straight and narrow. As the 49ers. Take Shamar Stewart, who Pittsburgh brought in for a visit, and you wonder what the intent was behind that. So we'll reject that Browns trade-off. I'm just keeping you guys on your toes over there. I'm just making sure you guys are paying attention. That's all it was. The Cowboys, what do? They go receiver. Top running backs are off the board. After this pick, I'm going to put up a poll with a couple of names that will hopefully be there just to give you guys a chance to vote and see what maybe you guys think. But you guys will help me draft for sure. I'll take your input, but I'm the one clicking the final buttons here, so I'll make the final calls. Oh, we doing this again with a bunch of trade offers. Oh boy. Our friend Larry. Yeah, that's all right. As the Cowboys submitting the card. Michael Williams from Georgia, the edge. All right, let me put up the screen again for the poll. I'm going to just put some names that make sense will probably be there. Okay, how do I end the poll? Okay, hold on. All right, we're going to end the poll. That might have changed, because I got to end the poll to create a new one. I'm going to put down a couple of names here for you guys to choose from, based on who I think will be there. Who should be the last one? Who should be our last pick? We'll go this guy. All right, poll is up for you guys. Let me get back to my screen. Make sure we're not missing any picks. The Dolphins are picking. And they take Donovan Jackson from Ohio State. So we didn't miss a pick there. Okay, a lot of trade offers. I don't even know what's happening there. Colts on the clock. Again, if you guys could like the stream, would appreciate that. We'll and I can try to answer as many Steelers questions as possible. Really, after our pick of 21, we'll just kind of do a little maybe Q&A, because we're going to be probably waiting a while. We could also look to trade down, and so we'll see what happens there. Hey, I want to put a quarterback in there, Mike, so you never know. Could happen. I only put 4 players. I want to put every single... I can only put so many guys there, so you're going to have to roll with the 4. But if you want to mention Walter Nolan or somebody else, if chat loves that idea, it's certainly on the table. Yeah, the draft is a mess. Hey, it's the internet. It's the draft. It's always going to be a mess. It's never not been a mess. Somebody just said Will Johnson, and there he goes. I wonder what happened to him on draft night. He's been injured in the pre-draft process. Didn't run a 40. Wonder where he actually ends up. Really kind of a unpredictable slot for a guy that was viewed as a top corner and still could be the top corner, but where that'll be, it's hard to say. Got a real-life person picking at 15. Ideally, if you're Pittsburgh, you just trade down a couple spots. Maybe we try some offers with Minnesota, with Houston, the Rams. I think that's some spots where we're looking to maybe make a move. There's no other human until 32. I'd go down to 32. I wouldn't be 100% against that. Say his name and he appears. Exactly, Craig. Doesn't drafting one of the two quarterbacks feel like drafting Kyle Bowler in 03? It's a big question. I get your point, though, Justin. Atlanta, Jahdae Barron out of Texas. It seems like a good spot. All right, get your poll results in here last second. I'm going to end the poll so I can see the results. I have no idea what they are right now. And we'll look at some trade down offers, maybe, hopefully. Top names on the board, Tyler Warren for Penn State. Both tight ends still on the board. Loveland and Warren, Jalen Walker, Kelvin Banks, Jahad Campbell, Mike Green, Matthew Golden. There's Loveland, Starks, Kenneth Grant, Eman Worry, Nolan Harmon, Abuka, Dart, Ezaraku, Burden. I like Luther Burden. I like Maxwell Hairston. Especially if we trade down. Lions have multiple day 2 picks. Okay, there we go. I like that idea, Captain Spartan. See what Arizona does. 210 people here. Appreciate that. Let's get as many people here in the chat as possible. Have a ton of draft coverage for you guys. As the Cardinals, see who they take. As we're coming up here at number 21. They take Mike Green out of Marshall. I'm going to end the poll. See who you guys are suggesting. And you guys are saying, whose name I spelled incorrectly, but you got it. You didn't troll me too bad for it. Derek Harmon, who I wrote as Derek Hammond. Kenneth Grant, second place. Jackson Dart, and Matthew Golden. We'll certainly see if Dart ends up being the guy. Let me put the mock back on screen. And I'm going to start making some trade down offers. Because can we get Harmon? The D-line class is deep. I like Harmon, but I don't know if the gap between him and, say, Tyleik Williams, Alfred Collins is very big. If there's a chance to trade down, get extra capital, I'm all for it. Trade down, says Chris and Joe. Buffalo, maybe a first-round partner. That's fair. See what the Bengals do, and then we're going to start exploring some potential trade offers. Buffalo at 30. I like it. Bengals take Tyler Warren. So now, why not? Add him to Higgins and Chase. Can I scroll down available a bit? I can. I'll do that quickly so I can make these offers. But I kind of went through the names just a couple of moments ago. Some of the top ones out there. So there's kind of a look. Let's see if we can make any trade offers. Oh, let's see. Select a trade partner. I like Buffalo's suggestion. How do I... Oh boy. How do I make a trade? How do we do this? Feels like it's harder this year for some reason. It can't be where I'm on the... Oh, okay. It's like very lagged. Let's see. Pick up. Say there's a second round pick. I'll just send that right now. Rejected. That's not good. We're getting pretty close here. Seahawks, what are they going to do? Bill said no. We got Larry with the Browns. What are they going to do? They've been a wild child this draft. Don't trade. I don't know. I like trading. It's going to be a long wait if we don't. Jahad Campbell, the Browns, looking to make their pick. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's see if Houston wants to come up, since that's a person. I'll pick up maybe a third from them. Take their other third-round pick. Probably you're not going to accept this. Browns, what are the Browns doing? As we're getting very close, number 20. Oh boy, we're going to trade. It's going to happen pretty quickly. Derek Harmon goes. Larry heard us. Larry's an inside mole. He's in the chat. Harmon off the board. We got to trade down. We got to look to move. Do we go with Philadelphia? If not, if we stay, who are we taking? Oh man, this one could get tricky. I'm looking to trade. I'm looking to move. We've offered it to Philadelphia. What do they say? Can I get an answer, Philly? Oh, one of the trades been accepted. Did we get a trade in? What do we do? We're down to 32. We've made the move. We picked up a third and a fourth as the Eagles come up from 32 to 21. I like that deal. It's not going to really totally bridge our gap in the second round, but we're getting some extra day 2 capital, and that's our goal. With Harmon off the board, the deep D-line class, no one else I really loved. As Denver at 20. Takes Jalen Walker, who fell in the draft. Now the Eagles at 21. Who are they trading up to get? So again, our trade was moving down to 32 with the Super Bowl champs, as the Eagles moving up to take Nick Eamon-Worry out of South Carolina. Reminder, we gave up our 21st overall pick to go down to 32. Got a 3rd and a 4th. Is that a good trade down? Infinity doesn't like it. Mike says, I think it's decent. I was panicking a little bit. We tried with the Texans. We tried with Buffalo. I think there's still some good D-line help, and we get an extra 3rd-round pick here, even though it's going to be pretty late 3rd-round selection, right around probably top 100 or so. So we're going to wait here a little bit longer. Still no 2nd-round pick. Don't think we're going to get one. We'll see what the board does with the Chargers on the clock. It's the last pick in the round. Yeah, so that's probably like 105 or something. I'm not looking at the board here right now. But I like it. As the Chargers take Matthew Golden. So he's going right around where we would have certainly considered him. Golden, McConkey, it's a lot of good route running. It's going to be tough for defenses to cover. Yeah, I could have gotten more, but wanted to make sure we got something done. Somebody said, yeah, we have, 8 picks now? So I do like that. I panic every year. Yeah, I'm a weak man, Josh. I'm not cut out to be an NFL GM. That is why I am sitting here armchair quarterbacking this thing the whole way through. I got fleeced. You think I got fleeced? I'll put that to a poll really quickly. Did I get fleeced? Let me know. If I did, hey, that's fair. I'll own it for sure. Would not be the first time I have made a bad trade in one of these things. So be brutally honest in the trade. Did I get fleeced? I think we're still good. All right, Green Bay, what are they doing? And thank you for the super chat. I almost missed that. I apologize, Craig. He says Travion Henderson could be an option for sure. I think Pittsburgh will like Travion Henderson. It's just 21 feels rich, but wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world. Am I able to trade current players? I cannot, Joe. Got to go back in the 2nd round. I don't think we're going in the 2nd round. I've been sent a trade offer, though, so let's see what that is. Minnesota on the clock. Again, we're at 32 right now. There's our friend Larry. This looks a little bit better than the ones we've gotten before, right? Am I reading this right? You guys tell me. Browns get 32. We move back into the 2nd round, get a 3rd rounder. It's another late 3rd rounder and a 6th. I don't know if I love that, considering we already have 2 kind of mid to late 3s, but it's a reasonable offer, at least. But let me know quickly if we should accept it or not. It's Minnesota on the clock. Who's available at D-tackle right now? We'll look here after the Vikings make their pick and after we get feedback on this trade offer from Cleveland. So the Vikings take Josh Simmons. Best D lineman available, Kenneth Grant. Walter Nolan still there. Landon Jackson edge. Darius Alexander, Tyleik Williams, Alfred Collins. I'd be looking at Tyleik Williams very strongly. Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan also still on the board. So that depth of the D-line still kind of showing unless there's a run, and a run could happen at any time. Trade offers, yeah, no. Larry loves chaos, he does, Jordan. No trades from Larry. Looks like you guys are saying no. I think it's a reasonable offer, but yeah, I'm okay saying no. But that was probably fair overall. How do I get out of this? That's a way to do that. We're going to reject it. We're going to stick. Someone asked me about later round running backs I like. I have a post in the morning on that. Taj Brooks from Texas Tech. I like Devin Neal from Kansas a whole lot. He's not getting much love. Those are 2 names I'd be looking at right now. Whoever asked about kind of the later round running backs I like. Houston on the clock. See what they do. Kenneth Grant. So Kenneth Grant off the board. Another trade offer. I have a guess where this is from. It's from Larry. I wish he had a higher third round pick. He's just sending a bunch of sixes right now. So, let's see if I can do something maybe with Larry. What is Cleveland working with here? Let's look at that quickly. Yeah, he only has that third. I'm not sure if we can do something there, but let me know if you guys think there's anything we can do with Cleveland. It's a dirty phrase, I know. Top of the board, let's look at that here briefly. Colston Loveland, best player available. Malachi Starks, James Pierce Jr., Tyler Booker still available. I'm surprised by that. Walter Nolan, Emeka Ibuka, Jackson Dart, Gray Zabel, Donovan Ezeraku, Luther Burden, Maxwell Hairston. That's the Rams about to make their selection. Yeah, DMB, this is about what we would do. This has nothing to do with what Pittsburgh would do. Plus, they were at the Ohio State Pro Day and brought Henderson in for a visit. So, and they're apparently at Michigan for Grant the night before. As Starks goes to the Rams. Reminder, we're sitting at 32 if you're confused about why we haven't picked yet. We made a deal with the Eagles, getting a late third-round pick and a fourth-round selection, giving up 21 and moving down to number 32 with Philadelphia. Just a reminder, like the stream, subscribe. I'm going to hopefully do a video on my last mock draft, which will be dropping on the site Steelers Depot on Tuesday. And then, of course, have a lot of post-draft videos and breakdowns on the site and on the YouTube channel. Stop trading with AFC teams. I'm not worried about that, DMB. You just make good trades. Plus, I traded with Philadelphia. I haven't traded with Cleveland, but it's about just what's a good offer. I'm not as worried about trading with AFC teams when it comes to just making good deals in the draft. We need a second. I love a second, but we got DK Metcalf. That's our second, and it's hard to beat a better second-round pick than DK Metcalf, as expensive as he is contractually. Truly would take Darius Alexander. The Ravens select Ibuka. I should do a poll here quickly, shouldn't I? I'm going to try to. I probably waited too long on that. Let's see. They say I did not get fleeced, so that's good. Let's see. Yeah, it was 59-40. It was kind of close. The pick, who should we put here? Let's put Walter Nolan. I like Tyleek Williams a lot. Can I twist your guys' arm into Tyleek Williams? Who else should we take? Emeka Ibuka. And let's even put this other guy. And if you have other suggestions, feel free to suggest them. But I got to get back here so we can see our board. It's the Lions making their pick at 28, followed by the Commanders, the Bills, the Chiefs, and then us to close out round number 1. A lot of Walter Nolan. Chris is just saying a lot of Walter Nolan, but should it be him? Ibuka is gone? Ibuka's gone? Where did he go? Did I miss him? The Lions taking James Pierce. Oh, he did go. I missed him. He goes to the Ravens. Well, then put in another receiver. Who are the top receivers? Luther Burden. I like Imanor. Jaden Higgins. I didn't even see that Ibuka had gone to Baltimore, but of course he does, because Pittsburgh was looking at him, so by rule, he must go to the Ravens. How about that? Yes, Kenneth Grant is gone. He went to the... Where did he go? He's gone, though. The Texans. A lot of Walter Nolan. Should we take Walter Nolan? We have another trade offer. I think let's just Larry sending a bunch of... Yeah, that's just not... Larry, it's just not going to happen. We just can't make that deal. Got to keep the fifth-year option. All right, we're getting down to it. What do we do? Is Walter Nolan going to be on the board for us? He seems to be a favorite right now. Look up the NFL draft pick value calculator. Nah, I don't want to cheese the system. Ezeraku going to Washington. So it is 2 picks now to us. And I have no idea what we're doing. But quarterback, Dart, Milrow. What do you guys think about them? Top defensive lineman, Nolan, Alexander, Williams, Collins. Top cornerbacks, Hairston on the board. Ravel, Thomas, Amos, Morrison. What are we going to do here right now, guys? Top running backs. Who are the top running backs on the board? Quinshon Judkins. Caleb Johnson. Henderson, is he available? Where'd Henderson go? Is he just really lowly rated on here? Oh, there he is. There's Henderson. I missed him. Okay, he's still here. Collins. I think the fifth-year option has some value. It's not going to drive the bus, but there's a worth to it. A lot of people saying Henderson, Nolan, Buffalo. What do? They're going to steal somebody? Luther Burden. All right, we're not going to trade. We're staying at 32. So we got to make a decision here before the Chiefs really put the pressure on us. Quarterback time, says John. Henderson. You guys want Henderson? I'm not opposed to it. I didn't think there'd be as much support for Henderson as I'm seeing in the chat right now. Henderson's worth it. Who is left at corner? I just kind of went through some of the names. Hairston, Ravel, Thomas, Amos, Morrison. Top names worth considering. I like Tyreek Williams, Alfred Collins. That's kind of where I'm at. But if you guys want to go somewhere else, we can talk about it. We can talk about it quickly. 15 seconds until the Chiefs have to make their pick. Chris, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. A lot of Nolan. Is he a scheme fit? Is he too undersized? Is he going to solve our run defense problems? So that's the question. But you guys seem to be all about Walter Nolan. I haven't even stopped the poll to see what you guys think. Let me do that here maybe quickly. Let's see. Stop the poll. You guys are seeing my screen, but that's okay. What do we have here? We're on the clock. The Chiefs took Maxwell Hairston. We're on the clock, guys. What did the poll say? Walter Nolan, 58%. Trade offer. We're staying. We're sticking and picking. Who are we taking? Henderson or Nolan is what it comes down to. Let me know in the chat. Those are the names we're going to consider from the chat. Henderson, Travion Henderson from Ohio State, Walter Nolan, a defensive lineman from Ole Miss. Who are we taking? We're going to take one of those two guys to be our newest Pittsburgh Steeler. We have 30 seconds to figure it out. Henderson or Nolan. One of these two names. Nolan, a lot of Nolan. All right, we're going to go with you guys. The consensus is Walter Nolan, defensive lineman, Ole Miss. Viewed as maybe top 15 candidate. Falls to us at 32 after we trade down. You know, last time Pittsburgh traded down in the first round was 2001. Got a defensive lineman. That was Casey Hampton from Texas. Now in 2025, moving down in the first round and getting another defensive lineman this time from Ole Miss. I don't think that's the guy I would have taken. So if he busts, I'm going to blame you guys. But that was the consensus. And I do feel good about us still getting a defensive lineman, a pretty top-end guy, even after trading down, what was that, 11 spots. So can't be too mad about that. Don't want Nolan. Well, he's the pick. It is good value. We're going to get definitely a lot of love from the draft Nick community. I can't sim any faster. The sim is the sim. It's a minute each, and that's it. So we're stuck with it. So round 2, we're waiting a while. We don't pick until 83. So we're not going to trade up, I don't think. If we get an offer, we'll look at it. Tyler Booker falls down to the top 32. That is a big surprise to me. I know guards don't always go high, but just thinking this class, he's going to go earlier than that. But it's been a weird draft. Thank you for being here. His size, length, just overall his game, but I understand the idea of Nolan. If it was me, I would have taken between Tyreek Williams and Alfred Collins. I'm not sure which I would have taken. Trade offer. Is this from our old friend? We always get one friend each year. It is our friend Larry. No, we're not doing that. We're not moving up. We're not going to do that. If you guys have any Steelers questions, I can answer as many as I can, just actual non-mock draft questions while we kind of have some downtime. If you want to fire them away, then I will answer as many as I can. And I appreciate you guys being here. See what the Giants do. Ravel Jr. coming off that torn ACL. goes top of the second round. Where will the quarterbacks go? Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe. Do we take a quarterback? Certainly something to discuss a little bit later on, especially with the extra pick. How did Dave and I meet? He found me just writing for a one Steelers site and had a phone call, and that was it. But Dave was the one who reached out first and found me on Twitter. Yeah, Henderson can pass, bro. The Penn State game is very good. Do I think we trade into the second with future picks, knowing we have comp picks? I think if they pick up extra day 2 capital, it's going to be more likely they trade down in round 1 than some sort of trade up or a player trade. I don't rule out anything, but I just think that's the most likely way they're going to go about it, a trade down as opposed to something else. Trade offer, Larry, what are we doing here? And we came and rejected. Titans take Loveland, who falls all the way out of the first round. Where did Tyler Warren go? Do I miss where Warren went? I'm not doing a good job drafting here. Okay, yeah, no, we talked about that when he went to the Bengals. Here we go. Do I think, what is the possibility we take BP at 21, then trade back into the second for a quarterback? Trades are impossible to really decipher, but I would say that's pretty unlikely to make that aggressive move and not just take the guy at 21. If you love the guy to trade up for him, you love the guy to take him at 21 is kind of my thought process. What's the earliest I would draft Milroe? And I'm just not sold on Milroe. 4th round, and I'm generally a boom bust, go big, go home guy. Quarterback, take one in the first round, don't take one at all. But my grade on him was basically in that 4th round range. That's where I would be on Jalen Milroe. Our wideout need is really only a burner, assuming Pickens stays. Do you agree? I mean, they have speed with, Metcalf is still fast, even though he's not a slight traditional burner in a Mike Wallace sense. But I think they have enough speed at receiver with Austin and Wilson and Metcalf, and even Pickens. Trey Amos goes to Jacksonville. Do you think Steelers will potentially reach out to Asante Samuel Jr. after the draft? I'm surprised he's still out there coming off that shoulder injury. I guess that's maybe an issue, maybe medically. Post-draft when the comp formula is not a factor, there's always a chance, but I think you have Slay, they like Trice. I don't think they're would pursue an Asante Samuel Jr. Running back is so deep, don't need to trade into the second round. Second round is only for a quarterback, any other position that would be worth it. It's not about the position in terms of do you trade up. It's the player. You're drafting people. Positional value is a thing. I understand your point, James, but it's hard to really just say, would you trade up for X position? It depends on the depth of the class and what you did in the first round and just a lot of variables that are really hard to give a good answer to. See what the Browns do. The unpredictable Cleveland Browns, they take TreVeyon Henderson. So, man, we're going to deal with Tyler Warren and TreVeyon Henderson in the AFC North, Ibuka to the Baltimore Ravens, and so the division is loading up on offense. So Mike Tomlin's going to draft defense even harder now. Benton's usually, base, he's a 0 tech, 1 tech shade, in sub package between 1 and 3 tick, depending on how they set the front. Let's see, what else do we have here? What do you think the fan base wants the most based on your interactions? Probably say D-line is probably where the most consensus I've gotten for what the fan base wants, which is reflected in, I think, us taking Walter Nolan, what you guys said in the chat. If Harmon was there at 21, would you have stayed and picked? Would have been more tempted to, but I think once you saw Harmon go off, you really felt like, okay, let's start look to move down. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say what I would have done there. I still think there's a chance I would have moved down. Such a Patriots pick to take the kid from North Dakota State. But a good pick. Where will the quarterbacks go? Favorite quarterback rounds 3 and 4. It's one name for me. It's Will Howard, Brenton. Do I think Mr. Chubb is a Steeler? I hope not. I respect Nick Chubb. He's had a fantastic career, but I am all out on Nick Chubb. I picked Walter Nolan, ODG Dorkman. We traded down with the Eagles from 21 to 32. These were the trade terms. Getting a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, and number 32 overall for number 21. And we took Walter Nolan, falling into our laps at the end of the first round. Would I take punt returns out of Calvin Austin's hands to try to get more out of him as a receiver? No, I don't think they're not really mutually exclusive. He can still be as involved as a receiver and still return punts and get that guy the ball in his hands, knowing he's not going to get the ball a ton as a receiver, so I wouldn't be doing that. It's the Bears take Scourton, one of the many A&M front 7 D linemen, edge rushers. Let's see, what else do we have here? Do I think they'll target safety or corner higher? I'd say safety, but I just look at once you get past the top 4, the safety group to me really drops off. And so, could you still go corner on day 3? You could. But I would give the edge to safety based on pre-draft movements. What is considered a good year for Benton is still realistic. I know you mentioned he needs to more counter moves. If you're talking numbers, more than a sack. I mean, I know sacks are not the end-all, be-all. He's had some pressures, but you got to finish some of these plays, having 1 sack in each of his first 2 years. So get your 5-6 sacks, better run defense, better counter move. You do those things, it's the jump that you need to see. Do I think Gainwell serves any real significant role this year? Yeah, a little bit of third down, kind of a Patterson type of role. Third down, space player. If Warren's going to do more early down type work, which he should, then Gainwell's going to get some more third down duty, but a little higher brow Patterson. Also kick returns. He could be involved in kick returns, handling those with the Eagles last year. As the Saints double dipping on pass rushers, that was Abdul Carter that fell to them in the first round, and they take Landon Jackson in the second round. Has anyone been more uncertain about the Steelers in their lifetime? I'm not sure. That's a very existential question, but it's muddy for me this year in terms of who they're going to draft, what position they're going to draft. I think last year I was a little clearer on. It's definitely O-line. Is it tackle? Is it a center? That was my big debate. I was wrong. I thought center. They went tackle, but this year it feels a little more open. Alex, are there any fullbacks this year that could be a good fit? There aren't a ton. We had a report on Northern Illinois kid, Brock Lamp, but not a lot of true fullbacks in college football anymore. Yeah, if Service Patterson role was supposed to be not as spine-shivering as that probably came off as, but a better version, a successful version. The Raiders take Benjamin Morrison. We'll see where that guy goes. He's not gotten a lot of love with the injury in the pre-draft process, Morrison, but really good tape. You've been critical of the Steelers playing a quarterback, yet also don't want them to blow it up or even trade older pieces like Watt. Do you think these ideas run counter to one another? No, I don't think it runs counter. You can still find a quarterback and not blow up your franchise. I've cited many times teams like Buffalo and Baltimore and Kansas City, they found their franchise quarterbacks without having to blow up their franchise and trade a bunch of assets. So I think you can walk and chew gum at the same time here. And I've talked about it. If you got a really good offer for Pickens, I'd be open to that. It'd have to be a really good offer, but I wouldn't close the door on that. How does someone get a start in sports talk like you? Well, hopefully you can probably talk better than me because I can barely do that half the time. We'll let the Jets make their pick here because I don't want to talk over the sound, but I'll give just kind of the boilerplate advice I give a lot of people. It's nothing earth-shattering, and it's just one man's opinion. And as the Jets, they take Jalen Milroe. Justin Fields, meet Justin Fields and Jalen Milroe, so that's fun. My whole thought is you have to just work every day. It sounds so trite, but it's such a saturated market in this day and age. You have to really stand out. And I would also, my biggest piece of advice is focus on one niche topic. Like I'm Steelers. Like I follow the NFL, I follow sports in general, but you don't want me writing about the 49ers or the Penguins. Like I can tell you a little bit, I can't tell you a lot. And so get really good at one thing, be an authoritative figure and voice on one topic. Even if that's high school sports, like go crush that and be the voice and name people turn to when they want to focus on one topic, because people can go to a specific site. You don't have to just read in the papers, a broad-based view. They don't have to go to just the general sports guy. They're going to go to the foremost expert on a particular topic for information. So I'd rather be really good at one thing, or I'd rather be great at one thing than good at a couple things. I think narrow focus is important. That's my advice, but good luck to you. As the Niners take Josh Connerly Jr. Yeah, Captain Spartan. The injuries are a big concern for sure. The hip injuries, there's a lot going on there, so I understand the fall. But if he's healthy, then you're aces. But we've talked about corners and had injury concerns. We all remember Senquez Golson, who didn't have the concerns coming out of college, but his career was completely derailed by them. I think about Caleb Farley with his back issue. That didn't work out, so there's certainly a big risk with injured corners. You guys could like the stream. Appreciate you sticking with me here. Be sure to subscribe. And the more you can support the channel, the better. We've had some pretty bad crackdowns on copyright material lately from the NFL. That seems to be a thing they're doing. So the more you can support the site, the better it'll be, and the more I'd appreciate it. So the Cowboys take Quinshon Judkins. So Jackson Dart's still on the board. He's in the green room. It's a lonely room right now, as his name has not yet been called. And yeah, Milroe over Dart. That's what the Jets decided to do. I thought Aaron Rodgers' comments about the Jets were pretty intense today. So it's just certainly no love lost there with that new regime. Azareye'h Thomas on the board. See who the top players available are. Irsay, Alexander, Watts, Williams, Sawyer, Ayamanor, Higgins, Collins. Those are guys I would have considered end of the first round. Arroyo, Mason Taylor, Darian Porter. Somebody asked about Jack Beck. I don't know if I'd take Jack Beck in the second. I don't know if I'm that high. I don't like this receiver class in general. I think it's a pretty weak receiver class. Steelers 10-5-3-0. Do you think Pickens might have a net negative impact on the team? While talented, is he a culture killer? It seems like there have been a ton of passive-aggressive comments about accountability. Yeah, I don't want to pin it all on one guy. I'm going to get your point. He's not helping. I think the team just needs more offensive leadership, just real strong leadership and direction for a team that's still pretty young, that's missing that anchor. And when you lack leadership, those personalities that are rougher and harsher like Pickens or have a higher chance of really messing with your locker room. So obviously, Pickens is probably not going to be here past 2025 because of the personality and the off-field stuff, but I think there's been just a leadership vacuum. That's why they have looked at veterans like a Russell Wilson and want to pursue and wait for Aaron Rodgers to try to have that veteran stewardship the way they had that with Ben. Trade up for Collins or Williams, make that D-line a strength. I've heard that. I get it, but I just don't think we're going to be making any trades up, especially not this far out because of the extreme cost. Would be weird to do that after trading down. Everything you guys are saying about Milroe, people said about Lamar too. We'll see. And there goes Tyreek Williams. See, Mike, this is who said that earlier. You say a guy's name, the computer hears you, he's off the board. So there goes Tyreek Williams. Shadow, another maybe mole in the room here with Larry. Is it crazy to have McCourt as my quarterback 3? No, you can date. Your rankings are your rankings there, man. Whatever you want to do is good with me. It's not like a consensus quarterback class where you're putting McCourt over some blue chip prospect. So Will Howard probably be in my top 3, and people will say that's wrong, and that's fine. But I think it's okay to have your own opinion, not just go kind of chalk. Now trade up for Collins. There you go. Now Collins is going to go for sure, Mike. Thanks for being here. We're going to draft as long as we can draft. There'll be an archive version of this. There might be. We'll have to figure it out. There could be. It'll be on the channel at the least. There'll be a replay of this. Maybe on Steelers Depot as well. Pick is in for Arizona. Irsay from Minnesota. If the Browns take Travis Hunter, would you put Joey on Judy or Hunter? Hunter overall would probably be my matchup, but I think Pittsburgh may do a little less traveling with Darius Slay and have some confidence in Slay to cover. So we'll see what they do. But Hunter, if you made me give an answer there, Captain Spartan. Yeah, it's a good draft for sure. JD page. If they get Jahdae Barrett and Tyreek Williams to boost that defense, that is a really strong pairing at the top. Yeah, Chris Sims certainly marches to his own beat. There's a limit to it, I think, but I think Sims walks it well, and as long as you can justify it, then hey, you're doing your homework at least. I can respect it. Jamari Caldwell, big nose tackle, Oregon, fix the D-line. That's what Tommy suggests, so he wants even more D-line help. Not a bad idea. Steelers 1053-0. I'm sure most of us would love to follow the Steelers as their job. What is an underrated and unpleasant part of the job that most wouldn't consider? Jackson Dart going to the Dolphins behind Tua. That's very interesting. I like that. That's a fun pick there. I mean, the job's great. I don't want to. This is not a bash session on the job, but I would just say two quick things. A, it's 24/7. I mean, it's always something going on. It's always the next thing. There really is no rest. The NFL designs it that way. You know, obviously Pittsburgh has been stuck in these just horrible, never-ending sagas of Aaron Rodgers this year, Brandon Ayuk last year, and it is just tiring to just have to hear about it all the time. And that's not my favorite thing to do. Also, third thing, I guess I said two, but a third thing. When they lose, man, it is rough on Twitter. It is not a fun time to be on the internet because everyone is mad and everyone makes it your fault that they lost. And so that losing streak last year was not the best time in the world for a fan, Alex, or analyst, Alex. Yeah, no problem, Captain Spartan. ODG Dorkman, what do you mean copyright claim? The NFL is copywriting basically every video I do now on just clips. They own the clips, so obviously it's not my clip, but usually they weren't as, not litigious, but strict on copyright claiming, which means I can't monetize the video. I also wonder if it's hurting my channel performance, but I've also not been posting a lot. But yeah, basically they're just copyright claiming and not letting me monetize any of my videos, it seems like. That has any NFL footage at all. The ones that don't have any footage, this will be monetized, but they've been pretty heavy-handed on that recently, which is unfortunate. Emery, I like Slay. He might have been the weakest corner, but they had good secondary last year. I think Slay can still play, so we'll agree to disagree on that. Who did the Broncos pick? Let's see if we can find their pick before this next one comes in. Where did Denver? They were at 20. Jalen Walker. That's who they took. See what Seattle does here. So we're motoring on into the second round. Jaden Higgins from Iowa State, who Pittsburgh has taken a good look at, bringing him in for a pre-draft visit. Yeah, CJ West from Indiana is definitely a plugger of a nose tackle. I mean, is he really undersized? He's short, but I don't know. He's pretty stout. Yeah, there's a fair use element to it. I don't know if I could investigate it more, try to push back. I just haven't bothered, but I think I'd be considered fair use. It's not like I'm just replaying the whole game. Their clips, their commentary, there's analysis. I would consider it fair use, but me versus the NFL, probably not a fight I'm gonna win. At this point, do you want Rodgers or just want to tough it out with Rudolph? My stance, my personal deadline, which means nothing to anybody, but my personal deadline if I'm Pittsburgh to Aaron Rodgers is a decision has to be known by OTAs, by the start of OTAs, which I believe is May 27th. You got to be in or out because we're not going to have you be the quarterback of this team, skipping offseason work, having uncertainty as a team gets together on the field for the first time fully for a formal practice, even though it's voluntary. And still wondering who's our quarterback. Is it Mason? Force these guys to answer questions. If you want to be the quarterback of this team, fantastic, but you got to be there from the start. It's such an important process to get in the building, learn the playbook, get chemistry with teammates, be a leader, be a face. So I'd be willing to wait because he's the only option left. He is your best option, even though he was not somebody I was pining for at the start of free agency. But for me, I'd give him until OTAs. If he's not decided by then, I just said I got to move on. There's got to be a deadline. I can't wait until July. It's not fair. It's not right. So that's my stance of what Pittsburgh should do based on the current set of facts and circumstances. When is our next pick here? It's number 83. So still our original third rounder. Then we have an additional third rounder we picked up in the Eagles trade. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate the kind words. thoughts on the Penn State safeties. Jalen Reed I liked. He was just okay. I wrote the report on him a while back. I'd have to refresh my memory, but I think I gave him maybe a 3rd or 4th round grade. Isaiah Manor goes to Stanford. Winston I didn't watch. He was hurt. Did he work out at the pro day? I think maybe he worked out, but I just didn't watch him. I know he's coming off the injury, and so I don't really have any super strong opinions on Winston. Alex, would you be shocked if come next Friday we don't pick in the second? I would be. Shocked is not the right word. I'm not going to be surprised either way. That's a super hedge my bets answer. Dave is more optimistic about getting a top 100 or day 2, maybe round 2 pick than me, but I think they'll look at it, but I think just predicting trades, especially a pretty big trade to get a 2nd round pick, it's going to be something pretty radical to do that. I think Pittsburgh would like to trade down, but who wants to trade up? It's tough. So I'm not going to be really shocked either way. Shock would not be a good word for it. Anyone for Carson who wants to be the backup if we can't land Rodgers? Yeah, Pittsburgh likes experience in their quarterback room. I am not really digging Carson Wentz, but I get the thought there. Did I miss a super chat? Oh my goodness. Oh, I missed one. Oh yeah, I did. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been really bad about that today. Kyle, thank you so much. A tip to combat the no fun league. How dare you break down the sport for more people to enjoy the love of the game. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. I'm sorry for missing the super chat. But thank you for the donation. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I did. That was me. I totally missed it. But thank you for bringing it up. How about the other edge rusher for Penn State? I can't remember his name. Not Carter, the other one. The other Penn State pass rusher. I'm blanking on who that is. I didn't do a lot of edge rusher work this year. I'm going to do a Penn State defensive lineman. There's a undrafted guy that I'm going to look at. Maybe Pittsburgh looks at him post-draft. Oh, let's see. Top of the board right now is Xavier Watts, Jack Sawyer, Schlesinger, Alfred Collins. Alfred Collins is still there. Did we trade up for Alfred Collins? Probably not after taking Walter Nolan, but some good value there, I think. Green Bay, they take Princely from Ole Miss. The hate on Aaron after explaining his reasoning today is a little over the top. Mr. Wood City, FYI, Rodgers is not retiring. He's trying to miss as much of the offseason program as possible. I don't know if that's it. I'll take him at his word. He talks about some of the personal things in his life, but I don't know if it's. I don't think it's that. But I do need him to be there by OTAs. Whether he's still deciding and figuring out his life, that's my deadline. Top running backs: Chris, Caleb Johnson, Cam Scatterboo, Dylan Sampson, DJ Giddens, Bashal Tootin, Ollie Gordon, Damian Martinez, Devin Neal, RJ Harvey. It's a good running back class for sure. A ton of good names on the board, and we'll be looking at a running back as well. Captain Spartan would love to trade down to 31 with KC, get pick 66 for our 4th next year. That's what Captain Spartan says. Chargers takes Schlesinger. Mike, his favorite Rodgers quote, "I'm open to anything and attached to nothing." That's the quote of the day. Alex Smith, I picked Walter Nolan in the first round. We traded down from 21 to 32 with the Eagles, picked up a 3rd and 4th round pick, and got Walter Nolan at chat suggestion. So that's a recap on us, and we'll wait until the 3rd round. Okay, fair on that, Mr. Woods' side. If you think that's the reason on Rodgers, more power to you. I just disagree there. See what the Bills do. If we're shipping Pickens, what's the return looking like? I would trade Pickens for a 2nd. If it's a 3rd, I'd hang on to him, knowing you're going to get a 3rd round comp pick in all likelihood, unless you make a big free agent signing next year. I mean, you get it for 2027, but a 3rd is just too offsetting to do that now for a team that's trying to win, trying to build up the offense. As the Bills take Jack Sawyer, but a 2nd for Pickens is pretty tempting. Now, if you got a 3rd and got something else, then it becomes more dicey. Okay, what's that other element of the trade? But that's kind of where I'm in on Pickens right now. Still waiting a while to make our pick, but we're going to make our pick. And I don't know who we're going to take. Are we going to be running back? I mean, we're going to have these third-round picks fairly close to each other. You got running back, quarterback. The address D-line, could still address it again. Receiver. A lot to think about there. Alex, what player or thing made you become a Steelers fan? I wish I had a good story. It's geography. I wasn't born in Pittsburgh, but moved there as a small kid and just grew up watching the team. So it honestly was just me being in Pittsburgh. When are we going running back, and who do you want? Probably third, fourth round. I don't know if there's one particular name that I'm pining for as the Panthers take. Arroyo. There's a lot of good names there. RJ Harvey. Devin Neal probably will go later, but I do like Devin Neal. I mentioned that a little bit. I wasn't crazy about Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. If Caleb Johnson were to fall to 83, then you could see that. So that's kind of where I'm at. I like, there were some good things about DJ Giddens in his game. I know Ross McCorkle likes Damian Martinez. That's just a couple of names out there to mention. What about a third and fifth and a day 3 2026 pick swap for Pickens? That's probably not enough for me. It'd have to be more aggressive than that. I like that fifth and a day 3 pick swap in 2026 is enough to get me there on Pickens. Alex, do you really believe the team has a roster to win now? Because I really don't. I think with the right, if Rodgers does sign, you have a chance to win a playoff game. Are you Super Bowl contenders? No. I don't believe Pittsburgh is in that position unless this offensive line really develops and becomes cohesive and they add some good defensive reinforcements to get better against the run. But it's just hard to compete with Mahomes and Allen and Lamar and that group with those elite quarterbacks. It's a real knife and gunfight situation where Pittsburgh is just doesn't have the weapons at the most critical position in all of sports. Top of the board remains Xavier Watts, followed by Alfred Collins and Trey Harris, who I thought had a little kind of Juju vibe. He played outside at Ole Miss. Thought he had some more quickness and change of direction, able to drop his hips and separate in his route. So I thought he might be kind of a big slot at the next level. I kind of see a little Juju. He loved to be a Chris Godwin. That might be a little over the top. I don't think Harris is as athletic. But a little kind of better age Juju from a couple years ago was kind of my thoughts on Trey Harris. What did the Ravens do after taking Ibuka, which is a classic Ravens selection, very Ozzie Newsome, Eric DeCosta-like? What do they do here? That's Jamari Caldwell as Marcus Bowe goes through Baltimore. Caldwell's a big interior plugger. So he had 6.5 sacks at Houston 2 years ago, but 0 last year at Oregon. But if you want a big classic plugger, then Caldwell can be your guy. Probably fourth round. He came in for a visit. So we'll see. One of those two Oregon defensive linemen, Hardman or Caldwell, could be on the radar. Alex, did you say we have a new piece on running backs on the site? Not seeing it. Trying to think. We have our look for study that I did the other day. Let's see. Clayton has an interest study. I don't remember if that's up now or not. I have to check if it's been posted. If not, the Clayton Eckert interest level score post on running backs will be up soon if it's not up already. I can't remember when that posted, if it has posted. There's Xavier Watts finally going. He's off the board to Detroit. Oh, the piece on running backs. Okay, yeah, that's my running back rankings, and that'll be up in the morning. I'm sorry. We're forgetting my own comments here, but thank you, Mike. So, yes, that was Infinity. It's going to be up in the morning at, I think, 8:30 will be my running back ranking post. Now, I didn't get to watch every single running back. It's going to be drafted this year. I think I had 15 names on there. But you'll see my list, and that's just me, my personal list, nothing to do with what Pittsburgh will do or could do or anything like that. Think they skip receiver? I don't know. Zach Azzani was pretty active on the trail this year, and that usually correlates to them drafting the position early, but it's not a great receiver class. Only 2 picks in the top 120 selections. I don't see it as something to really address this year, but they're looking at it. The guys they brought in for visits, I don't know if that's just Pickens' trade protection or what, but there was a lot of activity at receiver in the pre-draft process. Washington taking Jack Beck. From Craig, when is the draft roundtable? We're recording that tomorrow morning. So it'll be out on the site and wherever you get your podcasts at a little later Friday. Also, according to Ray Fittipaldo, Mike Tomlin and Mark Kahn will speak Tuesday for their annual pre-draft press conference. So Tuesday, don't know the time, probably late morning, early afternoon for Tomlin and Kahn, if you're interested in that. If we get Thornton from Tennessee, would he be competing for a gunner role with his speed? I don't know if he had a special teams role at either Oregon or Tennessee. You got to be more than just fast. You got to be able to tackle. You might have to do some of that stuff, but you have Skoranek. You brought Pierre back. I don't know if Thornton's going to have that role out of the chute, but he might get a look. I forget who's all going to be in the round table. Several of us, the usual suspects. Me, Josh, Ross, Dave, Joe, Jonathan. I think Steven Pavelka will be there. We'll have a decent crowd. As Jacob Parrish, the corner, goes to Buffalo. So we're sitting here waiting. Alfred Collins still on the board. Trey Harris. Got those running backs available too. So who will be there for our third round selections? We will see. What are my thoughts for the third round? Yeah, it's a good question. I'm kind of waiting for the board to create a little more clarity, but running back, we'll talk quarterback. I'll try to convince you guys to let me draft Will Howard. I will probably fail in that effort. Corner, safety even, but the safety group's going to drop off here probably before then. And do we get some offensive line help too? Lane, the trade was, I'll show you after the pick because screen's going to change here. Unfortunately, Tom, I don't believe will be there tomorrow. I don't think he could make it. So, unfortunate there, but that's okay. Tommy, if we get a receiver, wouldn't mind Jalen Knoll. A little different type there. There goes Alfred Collins to pair with Chris Jones. Lane, the trade. Okay, the Eagles, we'll just look at the Eagles pick here. Eagles took Savina. I'm saying that incorrectly, I'm sure. Let's see. We traded number 21 for number 32, a third, and a fourth. And still got Walter Nolan. The Eagles moved up to get Nick Emanwari. Make that secondary even stronger. What safeties are left? Makuba, Winston, Ransom, Sanker, Castro, Reed. I like Malachi Moore, Ransaw. Also like Craig Woodson and Hunter Wohler. There's some day 3 safeties that I like. And RJ Mickens was a popular pick in our Depot mock drafts from our Depot team. Those are kind of the top names there. Is Dino Tomlin on this list? I'm sure he isn't, but let's see. No, Dino Tomlin's not. We can't draft Dino Tomlin, guys. Tootin's a beast. He's fast, but the fumbles are a concern, Tyler. But there's some big playability with him, and Pittsburgh brought Tootin in for a visit. How high would I consider taking a tackle this year? It partially depends on the board. The tackle class isn't great. I would say on the high end, 4th round, if there's somebody there. Giants getting Trey Harris. Not saying I would take one in the 4th round, but where does the conversation start? Charles Grant, I think we'll go higher than people think. Pittsburgh did take a look at him. They didn't look at a lot of tackles this year, but Isaac Williams, the assistant O-line coach, was at Grant's William and Mary Pro Day, and he's athletic. He fits in his own scheme, and Tomlin's alma mater can't hurt him, I assume. How soon will Dino be on the coaching staff? Yeah, we'll see. They brought in Luke Smith, Danny Smith's nephew, the quality control coach. Makuba's interesting, but wait on safety. Yeah, we'll see about that. But they've done their homework on all the top 4 safeties. That was notable to me with Starks and Emanwari and Makuba and Watts. There's some pretty clear ties to those top 4 guys. What running backs are left? Caleb Johnson, Scadaboo, Dylan Sampson, DJ Giddens, Bashal Tootin, Ollie Gordon, Martinez, Devin Neal, RJ Harvard, Trevor Etienne. So, ton of backs still out there. And Wyatt Mullum, who Pittsburgh brought in as a local visit. Dino was just draft eligible. I mean, he was out of eligibility, I think, to return. He returned for 2024, but barely played on that new coaching staff of Bill O'Brien. I mean, he had 3 catches, I think, all season. I imagine he will get a tryout look. Could it even be by Pittsburgh? We'll see. I don't know if Tomlin would do that, but Dino had a really good pro day. He tested pretty well, and he's played a bit on special teams. So, and let's be honest, the Tomlin name's going to help him get into a camp. So I would think he'll be a rookie tryout guy in a mini camp somewhere, is my guess on Dino Tomlin. What left guards are left? We'll look at the guard market. Interior offensive lineman, Tate Ratledge, Jared Wilson. It's going to go higher than this, probably. Fairchild, Slater's interesting name. Small school guy from Sac State. Don't love the O-line class overall, but Pittsburgh's depth is pretty poor, and of course they're counting on the front 5 to step up and develop. Quinn Ewers going to Tampa Bay, so there's a quarterback off the board. What are the top quarterbacks left? Will Howard, Tyler Shuck is still there. Man, did we take Tyler Shuck? We're in the 3rd round, so now we're in our round. If Shuck is there, I know the age will be discussed, and I still like Will Howard. Scatterboo, born to be a Steeler. He's hard edge. I mean, he is true play in any era type of a guy. Will Howard, then Devin Neal, then Caldwell in the 4th wouldn't be too bad. All right, fair. Is there a running back you see the fan base mostly want? No, I don't think there's been one consensus name on running back. I just think fan base views it as a good class, which is true, and they'll probably be happy with virtually any running back, especially one that looks fast and can create big plays, because the team wants it, and Pittsburgh fans want to see some big plays, some dynamic aspect to this offense. Raiders taking Jordan Birch. Captain Spartan says he's a no on Shuck. Friday's going to be rough, going to be pumped all day for day 2 of the draft, and once it starts, we're going to have to wait hours till Steelers pick, unless they trade. What if they trade? Take Shuck if he's there in the 4th. Yeah, Mark, the age, it's a whole discussion. I don't want to have the whole Tyler Shuck age discussion. The age doesn't concern me in terms of his longevity. I just look at it and wonder, did he have a better college career because he was 25 going against 20 and 19-year-olds, and he's just more mature, and does his tape look better because of that? Also, the reason why he's 25 going on 26 is because he spent 7 years in college from a bunch of injuries. He broke his fibula twice, he broke his collarbone once, and so there's a long medical history with Tyler Shuck. He didn't play a lot because of that. Will Howard has more attempts than Tyler Shuck, despite being in college for 4 years or whatever. So there are some concerns there with Shuck. He likes Giddens a lot at running back. I do too, Nico. I think Giddens has got some game to him. He doesn't run as fast as his 40. He runs a little tall, but there's a lot of lateral quickness with DJ Giddens that I do like. I think Mason Taylor will go in the 2nd. Getting a mid-second would be big-time value. Yeah, Mason Taylor could even be a late first-round pick. There's been some buzz on that. How many here in the chat? Appreciate you guys sticking out. 184. Thank you, guys. Be sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate that. Just pick Howard. You want to. I do. I do want to pick Will Howard, but we're going to listen to our scouts as well. Kyle McCord is better, says Jordan Reviews. So a Kyle McCord fan. Would be kind of fun. He goes to Acrisure from the last time he played in Acrisure with his 5-pick game against Pitt. Jaguars take Ransom from Ohio State, the big-time hitter. What should we do in the 3rd round? We are not super far away from our pick. I'm going to get a poll going soon for you guys. to at least give me maybe a couple ideas, maybe some positions. What specifically about Howard do I like? Yeah, the combine wasn't good, but I'm not going to put much stock in the combine. Just his touch, his accuracy. I think he's a guy that layers throws well. Yeah, he had a great receiving talent, but it wasn't like those guys were all making spectacular plays or only top end talent could make them. I thought Travis Hunter made more spectacular plays to kind of bail out Shadur than Will Howard at Ohio State. But just if you're a touch thrower, really good accuracy, good from the pocket. I thought he got better as the season went along. Some early season struggles like that Michigan game, but you're in a new system. There's going to be some adjustment to it. He played his best football late in the year. High character, enough athleticism, I think overall mechanically sound. Just like this game. It's Ratledge, interior lineman. So Saints really go in trenches here. A couple of pass rushers and now Ratledge. I'm going to work on a poll for you guys. Let's see. Third round positions we should take. See what you guys think. We'll just put in a couple of positions. And I want to get your thoughts. I'll get the screen back up for you. Mason Taylor still on the board, followed by Caleb Johnson, Cam Scattaboo, Cameron Williams, Jalen Knoll still there too. We don't have a second. We're in the third round right now, Jay Kula, and we have 2 picks, 83 and what is that, 100 and something. Why do you think they skipped on Nolan's coming in for a meeting? I don't think they view him as a scheme fit, would be my guess. And there's been some character rumors, but I'm not sure how true those are. A couple of Georgia linemen and Ratledge and Fairchild going back to back. Chris Neal, 5'11", North Carolina, Willie Lampkin, sleeper day 3 fullback, a la Patrick Ricard. Lampkin's even shorter than 5'11". I think he's like 5'10 and change, but point taken. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. He had a good college career, had a good Senior Bowl week. Could he be a fullback? Situationally, but how much value is there in that? And then can he play on special teams? Like, can he run down punts? Is he tackled? So I don't know what you do with him. My comp was Jason Poe, who was a little small school kid from Bethel. He was about 6 foot, so Lampkin shorter. Poe tried a little fullback. I don't know. It's hard to draft that guy based on the history, but he played well, so it's a real unique case study. One of the more interesting prospects in this year's class, even though he's going to be a late draft pick, if that. Makuba, is he on the rankings? I don't know if Makuba went. Here goes Knoll. Looks like Makuba did he go? Wait. No, Makuba's still there. Yeah, Makuba's an option. What do you guys think about Andrew Makuba from Texas? Caleb Johnson is still there. We're not going to trade up. The running back class is too deep, and we're coming up. We're not too far away. Will Caleb Johnson fall into our laps? Who are the top receivers available? Let's see that. Isaiah Bond. Well, that's a lot going on with Isaiah Bond right now. We're not going to draft that. Jalen Royals, Restrepo. Yeah, this receiver class with Savion Williams. There's Thornton. This receiver class to me is just not good. Just not an exciting receiver class. If I'm Pittsburgh, unless maybe it's a Golden in the first round, I'm probably out. Thornton, 4th round, also I think is going to be in play, but I'm not excited about receiver. And plus, you trade for DK Metcalf. You have Pickens, Austin, Wilson year 2. Your run-heavy offense with Freiermuth also in the pass game. Do you need a receiver for the short term? I think you can wait. Tyler Shuck going to Carolina behind Bryce Young. Good value there. All right, Captain Spartan, enjoy your dinner. Thank you for being here. Scattaboo Johnson will be fine, says Ethan. Yeah, does Scattaboo give you the big plays that you're looking for? I'm not sure if he does. Which running back do you guys like? Let's assume Johnson just doesn't make it there to because I think it's kind of a gap. Scattaboo, Sampson, Giddens, Tootin, Gordon, Martinez, Neal, Harvey. I like RJ Harvey. Drafting a veteran behind Bryce Young, smart. That's a good one. I like that there, JD. Watch the Niners take Taylor now. We will see what the Niners do. Mason Taylor. It's good value. No Scatterboo Blues Clues. He had a private workout thing. I don't know who was there for Pittsburgh. Demetrius Knight. A couple of South Carolina linebackers. I like the other guy from South Carolina, Bam Martin Scott on day 3. Scatterboo had his own private workout. Those are harder to know, who's all interested in those and who all goes to those, I should say. But I don't really have any good Blues Clues. He did not come in for a visit, which you think maybe he would if Pittsburgh was really considering him. They brought in 9 running backs for pre-draft visits. Since 2016, the only position group to be brought in more in a single draft class was 11 safeties came in 2016. And they took Sean Davis, who was a corner safety hybrid, but he played safety that year. So, 3rd round on running back. Draft Howard. Oh, that's a good question. Devin Neal. Giddens fans. A good board for running back it is. Who are the other teams making selections? I mean, in front of us, Dallas, Patriots, Cardinals, Texans, Colts, Bengals, Seahawks. Mike says pass on Scatterboo, doesn't have the juice. Mason Taylor going to Dallas. Caleb Johnson or Will Howard? What do you guys think? If both are there. Caleb Johnson, Will Howard. Will they be there for us? And then we're picking, 12, 13 picks after. Top corners on the board. Let's look at corner. It's not looking great at corner. Dorian Strong, Denzel Burke. He was up and down. Say Frazier. Corner's not looking very good. Makuba's still out there at safety. Could be Makuba. Might get a poll going after this pick. See what you guys think. A lot of Will Howard support. I thought there'd be less support there. I'll make the I'll close out of the pick as soon as it comes up. It's Kyle Kennard. Okay, let me put up a poll for you guys here very quickly. Put up Will Howard. We're going to pull up Caleb Johnson. This assumes they are there. And I'm going to give you a third option, too. All right. Let's go back to the screen. 3rd round, you guys overwhelmingly said running back. So we'll see if Caleb Johnson makes it to us. Kyle, I think 3rd round wouldn't call that high for running back. I think 1st round is only where that conversation maybe applies. Rick and Morty says Scatterboo's on the board. You have to take him. And William showing support for Ollie Gordon, who Pittsburgh brought in for a visit. Scatterboo. See what the Cardinals do as we're coming up to our pick. It's been a long wait. Let's make it worth it. Deion Walker. Not heard much about Deion Walker in this process. He's really kind of seeing his stock, quote-unquote, fade. Man, you guys want Scatterboo too. I might put up a poll if it comes down to running back for Caleb Johnson and Scatterboo if both are there. And then maybe I'll let the poll just dictate who we're going to take. I think I would take Caleb Johnson. I don't even love Caleb Johnson, but I would take him over Scatterboo personally. But maybe I'm poisoning the well by giving that commentary before my poll. See what the Texans do. Will Howard still there? Anyone going to take a quarterback? Colts? Seattle take a quarterback? After that deal with Darnold? It's only kind of a 1-year guaranteed situation. I could see Seattle taking Will Howard. Yeah, some Dan McCullers vibes on Deion Walker. I think Walker's highs. He's more athletic, more bendy, but yeah, the tape is... He had a back injury. Oh, and there goes Caleb Johnson to Houston. It's a good pick. Jay Kula, will the Steelers go for another DN this draft? I think so. I mean, they could go nose tackle and kick Benton out, but I think they'll look defensive line, even if it's not in the first round. You know, a Josh Farmer, Ty Robinson, somebody like that. All right, Caleb Johnson off the board. Scatterboo, Will Howard. I'm going to make that a poll here. Maybe those will be our selections. So I'm going to end the other one here pretty early. It was Caleb Johnson over Will Howard, too. Let's see, Will Howard. I know where I would go. So I still have, and I'm spelling his name wrong. Scatterboo. Oh, I'm totally butchering his name. All right. Let's see what is available here. Who's on the clock? Colts select Emory Jones. Both are a reach, says Justco. 1 punt, says Craig. Another poll with another player. Howard's a wasted pick compared to Mason Rudolph. Martinez or Giddens. I mean, who else? Anybody? If you guys want to throw out names, feel free. I'll scroll through the top of the board. I mean, there's Makuba. Receiver doesn't look very good. We've already taken D-line. We could do it again. Charles Grant from William & Mary. I mean, at running back, yeah, I like Giddens, Tootin. I like Devin Neal, Harvey. I like Harvey a lot. See what the Bengals do. We're coming up here. We're going to have to decide very soon what we're doing. Yeah, Caleb Johnson just went to Houston 2 picks ago. Breaking our hearts. Bengals take Josiah Stewart. Best corners. Yeah, the cornerback class is not very good. Dorian Strong, Denzel Burke, Billy Bowman is really more safety, kind of nickel. Kobe Bryant. Nothing we're going to look at in the 3rd round. Charles Grant, says Mike. Giddens. The O-line depth is bad. Yeah, the O-line's not great right now. Makuba's still there. Receiver, same names. Nothing I'm really drawn towards. D-line, Turner, Farmer, Robinson, Caldwell. What does Seattle do? And then it's us. We are coming up. Does Seattle take a quarterback? Do they make a last-second change? Scatterboo would be great. Royals, then Howard, says C-Rex. We're on the clock. Let's just take a quick look. We don't have time to wait. They take Restrepo. I'm going to end the poll. What do you guys think? Let's see what the poll results say. I have no idea what they say. What do the poll results say? We are on the clock. We got to make our pick here. 40 seconds. Will Howard winning out. Last second suggestions. Say it now. Forever hold your peace. Running back. Want big playability. 30 seconds to figure this out. Not Scatterboo. Dylan Sampson. Howard. The poll. The chat said Howard. Oh, where are we at? Oh, 19 seconds. Oh, we're in trouble. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Where is Will Howard at? Where did Will Howard go? Oh, no. Where did Will Howard go? Oh, there he is. Oh, we're going to right under the buzzer. I'm taking Will Howard. It's who I was leaning towards. Chat was voting pretty clearly. I'm usually against the quarterback in the mid-rounds, but I'm making an exception. We're going to get Will Howard. And we're up again here pretty soon. I almost could not find where he was at because he was ranked so low. I just couldn't get it to click off the other positions to just show quarterback. So I almost pulled like a Minnesota Vikings and not get the pick in time. So I was freaking out a little bit, thinking I'm not going to make the pick. It's going to give some random person, and the draft's really going to be even more of a mess. So looks like you guys not totally loving the pick. Hey, listen, the chat voted for it pretty clearly. What was the votes on that? It was Scatterboo, which Listen, I was not crazy about taking Scatterboo there in the 3rd round. I would have taken a bunch of running backs instead. So we can take a running back now, potentially with our next 3rd round pick. If you guys hate the Will Howard pick, it's our bonus selection. We didn't even have this. Well, actually, no, it's not our bonus selection. The next one is our bonus selection, but we have 2/3. So that's why we trade. Isaiah Bond. Ooh, that's Ixnay on the Bond pick. A from Tampa Bay. Could he have been gotten in the 4th? Maybe. But if you like the guy, you like the guy. And I like Will Howard. But now we got to consider running back. Really have to think about that. The receiver room is just poor. Offensive line. Charles Grant was also, if he's still there, that's something to consider. I think from a talent standpoint, Broderick Jones, what's going to happen with him? Do you look at Charles Grant? And maybe in a deep running back class? We'll talk about it. Makuba's still there at safety, too. William Strauss, all about Ollie Gordon. He is shouting it from the rooftops. So our picks so far, Walter Nolan in the 1st round, trading down from 21 to 32, with Philadelphia getting a 3rd and 4th round selection. Scatterboo goes to Denver. And then our 3rd round selection at 83, taking Will Howard from Ohio State. That's where things sit today. Some other quarterbacks who went. Who was it? Shock to Carolina. Jackson Dart to Miami was kind of fun. Milroe went to the Jets. Shadur Sanders, number 3, to the Giants, working backwards. And then number 1, overall, Cam Ward to Tennessee. Those are kind of fun quarterback picks. That actually happened. Milroe went to the Jets, and Tua, there was a backup behind him, and Jackson Dart and that Mike McDaniel offense. I don't know. That's actually kind of fun to think about, all those things working out. Shock going to Carolina. I like all of that. All right, what does Harbaugh do? Taking all the Steelers of this offseason. Najee Harris and Dante Jackson and Mike Williams returning to L.A. Denzel Burke from Ohio State to compete with Dante Jackson. I need another running back. I do, no question. Can we go over the remaining running backs? Yes, we can. Dylan Sampson, DJ Giddens, Bashal Tootin, Ollie Gordon, Damian Martinez, Devin Neal, RJ Harvey, Trevor Etienne, Jaden Blue. You guys got the list from their deep running back class. Josh says, let's not deviate here, running back or Makuba, but I think we have to pull the remaining running backs. We would, and we will. Giddens still there, he is. Do you double dip on D-line? We could. What is there in D-line? Farmer, Robinson, West, Caldwell. Same names you looked at a little bit ago. Riley Mills. If that knee injury didn't happen, we'd be talking a lot more about Riley Mills. Super unfortunate for him. William noted on Gordon. I hear ya. We will see. Swinson from LSU going to Green Bay. We're picking pretty soon. I'm gonna do something a little crazy. Work with me here. I'm gonna make a trade offer. Oh, let's see. What are we at? I'm gonna make a trade offer. Just go with me here. I got a plan with Houston. Ian, this mock has nothing to do with what the Pittsburgh Steelers actually show interest in. This is our own little sandbox where we are the GM. And so this is not about what we think will happen or what interest they've shown or not shown in a prospect. Josh is completely correct about the history, but for this purpose, none of that applies. None of the blues, clues, and precedent matters here. Now I trade. Yeah, well, we're going to look. What does Jacksonville do? They take Shamar Turner. I made an offer to Houston, offering a 4th round pick to move up. See if Houston does anything. It's a little rich, yeah, but let's see. Let's see. Ollie does not, or Ian does not like Ollie Gordon in the third. It's alright, we all have our preferences. I mean, Gordon was really good 2 years ago. It was a really poor year in 2024. Farmer. Harvey, my sleeper, a little small, says Mark. What safety or cornerbacks are left? Kind of the same names. Let's see, Makubo, Winston, Sanker, Castro, Reed. I like Malachi Moore, Craig Woodson. Still some guys I like there. Corner is weak. We've looked at those names. Dorian Strong, Kobe Bryant, Zy Alexander, Quincy Riley, Zay Frazier, Tommy Hill with the foot injury. Well, come on now. I don't even get a response from Houston, Texas kid. Well, it's been rejected. Texans not responding to me. He takes Jeffrey Bassa. What is the plan to move up? All right, I'm gonna put up a poll. You know, the more I've thought about it, and what I'll clue you in on my trade idea. I do like Charles Grant to get that athletic left tackle. I know it's not an immediate need, but I don't know. I think Charles Grant's pretty interesting to be this far down. Let's see. Running back, also in consideration for sure. There's a ton of running back options out there. It's a deep, deep class. And then Makuba is still there too. Let's see. We put the poll up for you guys. See what the Rams do. I don't know. Charles Grant, I'm looking at that and saying, you know, it's uncertainty along this offensive line. I know it's unconventional, but I'm not hating the idea. With how deep this running back class is too. I feel like 4th round, I can make a running back happen. Can Grant play guard? Probably could project inside. Ultimate Elite really wants Giddens. He fits exactly what we need. Fair. That's fair. I'm not hating on that. Let's see what else. Can we maybe make a move? Top of the board, Jalen Royals from Utah State. Broke his foot midway through his last season. Shifar Tanu inside. He's going to stay at right tackle, I think, for 2025. My fan of Desmond Watson, I couldn't draft the guy. Undrafted, we can talk about it. I couldn't draft Desmond Watson. Even 7th round, I get it. I just couldn't spend a draft pick on it. It's a little more story than anything else. There's some talent there, but I just couldn't spend the pick. Jared Wilson's a good pick. Oh, can we make a trade? I'm exploring right now. This will probably be rejected. Seattle on the clock, putting in an offer. It was rejected. We're coming up here. Let's see. How far do you think Alfred Collins could drop in the draft? As a low end, he had a foot injury. He was in a boot during his pro day, so I don't know what's going on with that. I would say mid-second, kind of be his floor, mid to late second at the low end in this deep D-line class. But the injury would have to be explored. Was that precautionary? Is there something there? Would he go back for medical rechecks? Yeah, I like Jalen Royals. He's a springy guy with some post-catch ability. And he ran well. Can we make a deal? I'm looking to make a deal here, like the show. I'm just gonna keep offering until somebody accepts. Will the Saints play ball? Not looking like it. Darn it. The Raiders. What do the Saints do? They've been drafting trenches. Do they go outside of that? I'm going to end the poll here, too, to see what you guys say about the picks. Who do you guys like the most? Ooh, Charles Grant just beating out DJ Giddens. You guys can I'm sure there's been more than 2 likes. If you refresh, I'm sure it'll, because the likes don't automatically always refresh, Mike. But if you guys could like the stream, I would really appreciate that. Larry, it was a good Impractical Jokers joke, and then it got a little... Oh, the Saints took Charles Grant. That's why they rejected my trade. I had a plan and everything. That's why I was trying to trade up. I should have been more aggressive. That one actually hurts. I was kind of into the idea of taking Charles Grant. I thought I could get him. I was trying to move up, trying to give it a late pick. That one stinks. That one, we're looking running back really hard now. We got Makuba too, but I think we're kind of on the running back train. But I thought Grant kind of feels like one of those picks that are unexpected, that kind of throws a wrinkle into all of our conventional plans, because the draft never goes exactly the way that you thought it would, what they're going to do X, Y, Z in perfect paint-by-numbers fashion. And that would have just been a fun pick there. So, yeah. Isaac Tesla is still there, Mike, for sure. He's going to go late in this mock. Yeah, that's fair. I could have taken Grant, but then I would have not gotten... I don't think Howard would have been there. I guess, I don't know who all needed a quarterback. I didn't really look at that. I'm not a good GM, but I don't think Howard would have been there. All right, it's Kansas City, then us. And so it was Giddens' final thoughts. Giddens seems to be where we're going to go. There's Sampson, Tootin. I liked Harvey, too. I like Neal. I think, is there anything to take but... Can we wait on the running back? Is there anything else to take? Makuba? What do you guys think about Andrew Makuba? Kind of give me last-second thoughts on that. I'm just not seeing a whole lot else out there I really like right now. Farmer. Anything else at tackle? Holland Pierce, big dude from Rutgers. Jackson Slater. I'm just not seeing a whole lot right now. Devin Neal, Giddens. Wait on a running back. But I don't know who else to take if it's not a running back. I really don't know. I mean, linebacker, it's not a tremendous draft class, to be honest with you. All right, let's see what Kansas City did. They took the edge from UCLA. We're on the clock. All right, no poll. Makuba or Giddens? Andrew Makuba from Texas or DJ Giddens from Kansas State? It's going to be one of those 2 picks. We got 40 seconds to figure it out. We're at the D-line to double dip. Farmer's not going to play. Well, can he play nose? Double dip? You guys, I don't know. I think we're gonna stick with it. Makuba or Giddens? And we got 25 seconds. A lot of Makuba talk here. You know what? I'm going to do it. Running back is deep. I'm going to wait. I'm going to draft Andrew Makuba out of Texas. Get a safety in there. Sean Elliott, a free agent after this year. Minka Fitzpatrick. A little uncertain future beyond 2025. Juan Thornhill signed to a 1-year deal. I think running back is really deep. We got 2 4th-round picks. I think we can wait. I didn't love a lot of options here. I felt pretty deflated after losing out on Charles Grant. But I went Makuba, last second decision. Good work. All right, we'll take it. Because, yeah, I mean, listen, Giddens is a fine pick, but I just see a ton of other, could even still be there in the 4th round. It's not an impossible thought. And with him and Tootin and Gordon, Martinez and Neal and Harvey, I just didn't see the value to go take the running back in the 3rd round. I think you can wait and still get a really good player in the 4th round. So our picks, Walter Nolan, Will Howard, Andrew Makuba. Now you guys seem to like it. All right, good deal. Norman Lott, undersized defense alignment. so many safeties on the roster. Yeah, but how many of these guys are? What's the long-term outlook too? I hope Elliott comes back in 2026, but there's no guarantee. And Thornhill's a free agent, and Minka doesn't have a stellar season. There'll be more conversations about his future. I'm not trying to dump him now like some people are, but I understand if there's a third kind of underwhelming season, there'll be discussions about his roster status. And in a big nickel world where Pittsburgh wants to run 3 safeties, the Bengals just took Tyler Warren, and we got to deal with that now too. Even though Makubi's not like the biggest dude in the world, we better be able to combat that. So we got to look at our division. What's our division doing? And they're getting some offensive skill guys. We better counter with, you could say offense and try to fight fire with fire, but we're going to do a very Steelers thing and load up on defense so Colin Coward can yell at us about it. It's a good plan. Yeah, Thornhill's been hurt. He's got calf issues. It was an okay signing, but I don't know. I think they waited too long on safety. There were some better options out there that could have been had for super cheap. I think they could have brought in DeMar Hamlin, brought him back home. Josh Farmer going to Miami. We'll look at O-line later, William. Definitely. Yeah, Chris, it's a really good point. To do a draft like this, you really get kind of a feel for how things unfold. It's my first time doing a draft like this, and yeah, it's not a great draft class. I mean, you can always find talent, never an excuse. But, I mean, I'm looking at the board, going, man, there's just not a lot out there that I was super excited about. I mean, it just is not. I mean, there was some depth in that round 2, early round 3 range, but it kind of thinned out, and the top-end talent isn't there, and you didn't have a lot of quarterbacks to push down first-round guys the way it did last year, where 6 quarterbacks went in the top dozen picks, which helps. A guy like Fautanu, if he was in this year's class, wouldn't fall to 20 or 21 because he's just going to go because the quarterbacks aren't there to push him down. So it's an interesting dynamic this year as Dylan Sampson, who he considered, goes to the Giants to pair with Tyrone Tracy. The draft is strongest in the second round. Got to do what you can to get in there. That's fair. I hear you, Mike. Winston is still available, yes. What platform is this? This is walkthemock.com. I don't know if they'll show it up here, but yeah, Walk the Mock. And they've had in the past kind of an official mock draft where, they have people for basically every pick, and that didn't happen this year, or if it did, I was not invited, wasn't aware of it. If not, that's totally cool, but just kind of joining a random group. It was like the only one today, this one. I think it might have been the only room today, period, and it was 8 o'clock, which was a good time-wise for me. I didn't want to wait. Jackson Slater stays in California, goes to the Niners. He had a good pro day workout. So yeah, because after this, I'll be working on my last Steelers mock draft. I'll hope to do at least a complete 7-round mock draft for the entire NFL, all 250 some odd selections. Ooh, Larry hasn't made noise in a while, he says. Classic. It's classic Larry. It's me and Larry hanging out here. Let's see. Walter Nolan, I would have considered Tyreek Williams and Alfred Collins, but Kenneth Grant was gone. Derek Harmon was gone. Are we taking 2 defensive linemen in real life? They could. 6 picks makes it tough, but not going to rule it out. Mike, on Sampson, maybe I didn't have watched enough tape. I didn't like the vision. I thought he did well in space. The speed is real, but it was a lot of quiet in between, kind of hitting those one chunk play a game. And so I just didn't really, a little undersized. And some other guys in this class that I like are on the smaller side, and that's not going to prevent Pittsburgh from taking a guy because they want somebody who can be explosive and dynamic. I just thought there was speed and not a lot else that really got me super excited. But I didn't write the report on him. It wasn't as extensive of a tape watch as it would have been had I written the full scouting report on Dylan Sampson. I know others do like him a lot, so maybe I missed some tape. If they draft him, I'll certainly take a longer look at him. He came in for a visit, so they certainly could take him, but just I didn't get a great impression in my tape watch. See if anyone can play running back. He could. He's gotten the Cordell Patterson comp, and he had almost as many rushes as receptions. I think he had 60 catches and 50 rushes this year. Williams did. Royals is gone, Ian. If you're talking about Jalen Royals, he's off the board. What edge guys are there? We can look. We will take a look for you. Jalate, Ivy, who's a D-line edge. David Walker was really impressive at the FCS level. Let's see, Elijah Roberts they brought in for a visit. We're not drafting because of that, but I'm just making conversation. I like a lot of the Syracuse guys this year. Syracuse has some really good picks. The tight end, Gadsden, is really an interesting move tight end. Where is he at on here? Rondé Gadsden, his dad played in the NFL. But LaQuint Allen, Fidel Diggs, Kyle McCord. I think Syracuse kind of has some guys this year. Oh, Larry wants to trade. He wants to do an NBA draft day trade. There it is. There it is. Oh, yeah, he did draft Hampton and Henderson, right? He is, yeah. I forgot about that. Classic Larry. Is Warren going to be back after 2025? We'll see. He's an unrestricted free agent. My favorite quirky stat is the last Pittsburgh Steelers running back who was extended on a big money second contract, Willie Parker, in 2006. Last guy to receive a long-term deal. So I know they wanted to with Bell, but they didn't. And didn't with James Conner and Najee Harris and Rashard Mendenhall and yada yada. So the track record isn't there for whatever it's worth. But we'll just have to wait and see. See what he does in an elevated role and go from there, Jaden. Larry's in this chat. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, we got an extra. I'll take anyone in the chat just to get the people in. Young outside wide receiver depth pick. We're looking at it on day 3. Dante Thornton would be the guy to look at. You should probably be looking at him in the 4th round. Ty Felton's fast, but I didn't love the tape. Let's see. Keandre Lambert, somebody told me he's related to Cam Chancellor. Forget what the family tree connection was. Ricky White's got some fans out there. Josh Carney, a big fan of Efton Chisholm. Had a good, I think he said he had a good Shrine Bowl week. Tesla from Arkansas has gotten some love. Where's Andrew Armstrong? Is he on here? Where is Andrew Armstrong? I like Andrew Armstrong. Way down there, 343, right above Moose Muhammad. Son of another receiver. Larry's in the chat. Oh, he 100% in the chat, confirmed. He's calling you out, Mike. Says he's talking a lot of smack. So there it is. Somebody's trying to game the system. My thoughts on Eamon Worry. Yeah, I don't know. I know a report was kind of down on him. You know, I'm not discounting him at 21. He was obviously my last mock draft. It just, is he a little more athlete than refined football player right now? But I'm not discounting him as a pick at 21, depending on how the board breaks. Caleb Bransaw's Drake Kirkpatrick's cousin. I didn't know that, Infinity. Appreciate that. I should have had that in my Bloodlines post I did for the site a couple days ago. I think I like Larry too. Yeah, Larry's good people. We like Larry. Top of the board, Savion Williams. We're coming up here. We're in the 4th round. Ozzie Trapillo, DJ Giddens, Anthony Belton, Dorian Strong, Ty Robinson. Double dip on D-line. Let's stick with the strength of the class. Torrey Horton Hive, says Mike. I think we're looking running back, and then maybe Dante Thornton here. But we'll talk about some receivers. Got a little little while to go for our pick. I'd like to be done by 11 to get a little more work done tonight, but I don't know if we're going to be done by 11. I think I was kind of thinking this might be a 4-hour stream for a minute pick for all 7 rounds. So we'll see, but we're definitely here for a while longer. Just ask again, you guys could like the stream, check out the site, check out our Steelers Depot Draft Roundtable tomorrow on the podcast. Of course, Dave and I will also discuss the Aaron Rodgers situation. If you don't want to hear that, though, just fast forward or wherever we put the roundtable portion, and we'll just talk NFL draft with our Steelers Depot crew. Who's done a great job this year. We're going to have about 350 scouting reports, which is a personal best for us, and so we're going to be really well equipped to discuss the draft in real time when the picks come in. Jacksonville taking Dorian Strong. Yeah, Infinity, I thought the bots would pick automatically, just kind of like within 5 seconds. I didn't realize they would take the entire time, so I was kind of hoping if there were a bunch of bots, they would pick pretty quick and it would shorten the draft, but not looking like it, unfortunately. Run by you, thank you so much. Has been using your profiles in my own mocks. Great resource to familiarize myself with the prospects. Yeah, I appreciate that. We try to be really thorough and comprehensive. We really focus on background too. That's an important element that gets overlooked. What is a player's makeup? What's his injury history? What's kind of his upbringing? What are just some interesting and kind of cool and different facts about him? I remember talking about Broderick Jones loving reptiles and snakes just as a fun little personal tidbit, because not everyone wants to talk about just draft stuff. They kind of want to know the person too. So those things are always fun. The Raiders pick, as we have a $10 super chat from William Strauss, who, thank you so much, William, says, I appreciate the fair and balanced Steelers journalism and editorials all year, especially around draft day. Did I mention the name Ollie Gordon tonight? Once or twice. I think I saw you say that. So, still need a running back as the Raiders take a quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, who rewrote the record book at Oregon. But thank you, William, for the super chat. Any good guards out there, says John. It's not looking great. Lucandra. It's Carson Vincent, one of the top HBCU prospects. A tackle. Trapio's interesting. Belton Pierce. I can get on board with Holland Pierce. What is Larry saying? Go Steelers. He's running the Browns. He's saying go Steelers. There it is. There it is. We have thin D-line depth. Got to get a stout line. Can't get run over like the playoff game. I hear you. We did take Walter Nolan in the first round. But I hear you, CVP. Willie Lampkin for the vibes, says Charles Elliott. I get it. There goes Trapio to Boston College. Top running backs, Giddens, Tootin, Gordon, Martinez, Neal, Harvey, Etienne, and Blue. I think we got to probably go running back here and finally dip our toes in that pool. So it's just, if it's Giddens, I think we were going to take him last time, but went Makuba. I went Makuba. And so if it's Giddens, we're just going to take him. If not, I'll put up a new poll if there's some time to ask for your input on our next selection. Chris says, we're going to the game in Ireland this year. Anyone else going? Anyone else going out to Dublin to Croke Park? Still don't have the official date. Probably week 4, late September, it sounds like. Yeah, good pick by Buffalo. I'm with you, Tommy. Mike, I might be with you on Harvey, but I think the chat was on Giddens, and I kind of overwrote, but didn't totally override, but kind of made the push from Makuba last second. So I'll listen to chat. Got some Giddens fans here. I like Giddens too. 10 o'clock. Appreciate you being here. All the support. Been a fun live stream. Fun live mock draft. As Carolina. Oh, what has Carolina done? They took Chuck, Will Campbell, and Arroyo. What's the division done? Baltimore, Ibuka, Bo, and Jared Wilson. So really loading up on O-line. The Bengals, Warren, Thomas. I didn't even say took. Azarie Thomas, Josiah Stewart, and Cleveland getting funky with Hampton, Harmon, and Henderson. That's a good law firm name. And no pick until the 6th. So there it is. As we are coming up. We pick here at, it was a 21st selection in the 4th round and the 28th pick in the 4th round. I wish they would have the overalls. I like talking in overalls, not 4.21, but that's okay. Devin, Neil, Kansas. I'd be with you on that, Tommy. We'll talk. You'll see where I put Neil in my rankings tomorrow. Infinity had to wait one more round for running back. I think with the 2 4th rounders, I think we should take a running back here. Plus, there's nothing else really saying we should take somebody else. I mean, Savion Williams, what do you guys think? Ty Robinson. Those are some other names to consider with our other 4th round selection. The Saints, who stole Charles Grant very rudely from us earlier. Take Danny Stutzman from Oklahoma. No TCU receivers. They're cursed. Who's been some bad TCU receivers? I'm trying to think back. I'm sure you guys can throw some names out there. TCU receivers. Got some big doinks. Ty Robinson says Captain Spartan. He's back here in the chat. I think we're going to go Giddens if he's there. And then if not, we're going to have to open up the floor for some discussion. Oh, yeah, Josh Dotson. Yeah, it's a good... I mean, we're not scouting the helmet, but I was just trying to think of a name, and that's a good pull. Giddens will be gone. We'll see. Jalen Rager, yeah. There you go. Well, yeah. Well, Quentin Johnson's gotten a little bit better, but... Fair. Jonas Sanker. I swear, Virginia always has athletic safeties. You know, Thornhill a couple years back, and Sanker this year. They always seem to have one of those guys. Double down on D-line with a true nose, says David. Who are the true nose tackles left? I don't know if Robinson could be considered true nose. West is true nose. Caldwell, definitely true nose. Broughton's kind of a plugger. I'm not sure if he's like true nose, but he's a run stuffer. So those are kind of your zero techs. Yaya Black, Stackhouse, some later round guys too. Giddens, I like his lateral agility. I think his ability to make kind of guys miss in a phone booth was his biggest asset. I really had the word like slalom came to mind, the way he was able to kind of glide through and that lateral quickness. I didn't think the long speed was the way he tested in the 4.4s. He does run tall. The power is not there, but there's some real kind of short area burst and change of direction that was really impressive, that was consistent. On his tape is Ty Robinson goes to Carolina. Phillips is too. Phillips, I think, is more like one gap, penetrate, upfield guy. I mean, he's listed big. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but the tape that I didn't write the report on him, but from the Shrine Bowl and from some other tape I kind of was watching, Maryland adjacent tape, he kind of felt a little more athletic, a little even kind of Hargrave-ish. Don't quote me on that, but that was kind of the vibes I'd gotten. Like Le'Veon Bell, lateral quickness. I don't know if I wouldn't call it Bell. I'm not making the comp, but it felt a little LaShawn McCoy, kind of the glide and the change of direction. He's not Shady McCoy, but that was kind of the change of direction it reminded me of, as kind of to give you a comp there. No, we're not going to trade up for a running back. There's nobody I love enough in this deep class, and we're almost here on the clock, so. Yeah, see, you said it. When you say their name, the computer hears you, and they go off the board. As the D linemen are going off the board here. Ty Robinson and CJ West back to back, so. Uh-oh, look out. Do we go Jamari Caldwell? I'm going to put that to a poll. Do we go with the plugger? Because Nolan's not a nose tackle. He's not playing nose tackle for us. Let me get you guys involved here. Well, if they're even there, which, we still have a couple picks to go. But my spelling hurriedly here may not be 100% correct, but you guys will get it. As the Dolphins, who took Jackson Dart early in the draft. Corner should be an option here. There's just not a lot available. We'll look at it here after the Dolphins pick, but I'm just not seeing a lot. Yeah, Mike, we have 2 picks. We got 2 fourth-round picks pretty close to each other, 7 picks apart. I haven't sent a trade offer. Is it from Larry? No, it's not from the Saints. Belton. It is Larry. We get an extra 6th-round pick. We'll do this trade because I think Larry just wants to be involved here. He's hanging out here in the chat, so we get an extra 6, give them a 6th-round pick next year. Sure, right? Yeah. Just give me a quick check here, chat. We'll do that. Nothing wrong with that. Pegues is still there, Charles. Yes, I think Pegues is still there at least. Chat, what do we think here on this trade offer? Well, I'm not hearing a lot of feedback, but maybe there's a delay. Colts on the clock. Jordan says yes. Oh, what's that? It's closed out. I don't know why I can't accept the trade right now. Reject? Why reject? Is it a bad trade? There goes Williams. I'm just going to accept it. We're making 6th-round pick trades here in the 4th round. All right, coming up, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, Denver, and then us. And then us shortly after, too. Larry does not want the party to stop. I respect that. There you go. He's been trying. We'll reward him for his efforts, for his persistence. Yeah, Pegues played a little bit of fullback. It's 7 touchdowns, but I don't know. It feels very situational. You're not really drafting for a ton of value there. What did Larry say? Got the deal done. We can say we made another trade. Larry Sonny Weaver Jr. You guys like the movie Draft Day in sincere fashion or hate watch? It's a good hate watch for me. Atlanta takes Jared Ivey. What are you guys' thoughts on Draft Day? About 8... From the first line, I knew I would not like the movie because you have Chris Berman on the voiceover, and I forget exactly what he says, but something like, here's the draft. There'll be 232 players selected. They did not consider compensatory selections. They just did 32 times 7. They did not factor in compensatory picks, and I was like, I'm out. Movie is not accurate. It's not well done, and didn't get better from there. Say try for Giddens, then one of the D tackles next. Is Zay Frazier available? He is, Captain Spartan. That's fair on not watching because it's a Browns movie. That is fair. All right, a couple more picks. So we are on the clock. We've taken Walter Nolan, defensive lineman from Ole Miss. Will Howard, the quarterback from Ohio State, and Andrew Makuba, the safety from Texas. Kyle Williams going to the Bengals. Bengals really going heavy, I think, on offense here in this draft. Okay, well, they went Thomas and Stewart, but need more receivers after locking up Higgins and Chase. I gotta scroll back down. Top of the board, DJ Giddens, Torrey Horton, Jordan Phillips, Bashal Tootin, Savion Jones, Billy Bowman, Ty Felton, Kobe Bryant, Holland Pierce, Cy Alexander, Quincy Riley, and Williams guy, Ollie Gordon II. Also, Jamari Caldwell and Zay Frazier. I'm going to have to end the poll here and see what you guys said about Giddens versus Caldwell. Never seen Draft Day. You should check it out just to see if you like it. It is a draft movie. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Tennessee, they take running back? No, go Bowman. All right, let me end the poll. Let me see what you guys had to say. Looks like Giddens won that one pretty convincingly. Let me bring it back up on the mock. Yeah, Giddens 72%, Caldwell 27%. Kyle Williams was available, no longer is. Save one pick for an offensive lineman, says John. We'll see. We tried for Charles Grant. Maybe I should have taken him where I took Will Howard, but what are you going to do? See with Tampa Bay, Denver, and then us. Looking like Giddens if he's there, but I think Caldwell, interesting. Now that we have more picks, I think we have more flexibility to double dip. And of course, Nolan and Caldwell will serve different roles and play different positions. So it's a double dip in a sense, but it's not like it's cornerback and they're both outside guys. Bashal Tootin goes. So running back goes. What does Denver do? What have they taken? They could use a running back if they've not taken one. No, they took Scatterboo. So they've taken a running back. So Giddens should be there. They went Jalen Walker, Darius Alexander. Those are two good picks at the top. And then Scatterboo, which is just a fun name to say. Scatterboo. Is Jordan Phillips only a redshirt sophomore? That's... Dang. How old? He's what? 21? 22 then? Yeah, Tootin has 8 fumbles the last 2 years. Now, one was on a squib kick on a kickoff where he kind of muffed it, but there's a lot as an actual runner, and I didn't see any consistent issue where like he had bad ball security or didn't have multiple points of contact, but it's a problem. Here goes Ty Felton. Giddens or Caldwell? Giddens or Caldwell? The chat, we've been looking at Giddens for a while now. The poll said Giddens, so see if that's where we go. We got 40 seconds to figure it out. No, I wouldn't take 2 running backs there, William. He's 21. It's on Jordan Phillips. Giddens or Caldwell? What do we got? 20 seconds. Looking like Giddens. I'm not hearing a lot of groundswell for Caldwell. We'll look at him with our next 4th round selection. There was some Caldwell in there, but we're going to go DJ Giddens, get our running back. To have a backfield of Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, and new Steeler, DJ Giddens. So we're on the clock here in just a couple of picks. I think we'll look at Caldwell, also Dante Thornton to really add to this offense. Probably the 2 names we're going to consider. And it looks like most people said Giddens first and then Caldwell next. So there it is. What has Green Bay done? A lot of trenches, starting with Banks in the 1st round. Caldwell there in the 5th. I don't know. Based on where he's at on the overall, we can kind of cheat here. Well, Where's Caldwell at? Maybe. But we also just want to take, like, our guys. It's hard to sit there and wait. And if you like the guy, you like the guy, especially as we've kind of established in a class that does not feel super strong. You just want to get your guys, get some talent, not try to play the game of maybe he slips or something. Chargers on the clock. Yes, Kyle Williams just went. Slime Satu. He went just a couple picks ago to Cincinnati. So he'll be in the north, just not with Pittsburgh. Farmer is gone. Yes, John. I don't know where he went. Miami, maybe? But Farmer is gone. You know, I didn't really end up getting to watch much of Torrey Horton, so I'm probably not the best on that. Was there some report about him? Actually, it's probably rumor. I'm not going to mention it, but we have the report. I just didn't do a lot of homework onto Torrey Horton, so I'm probably a little biased in that. Click on the position group. I'm not sure what are you referring to? Chargers take Quincy Riley. Run by you says, none of these have felt like reaches, though I'm not the biggest Howard guy. I think it was decent value with the quarterback room being thin. Yeah, I think value has been really good. Nolan, Makuba, I think went later than expected. Giddens is probably about where he's going to go. This running back class will push some names down. Howard, maybe could be a little bit early, but he was, the fifth or sixth quarterback off the board? Holland Pierce, he's huge. He's a big tackle. Could be an option. Did the Ravens already take defensive tackle? What did they do? No, it's gone offensive line and Ibuka. All right, we're coming up here. We got another fourth round pick. That was a part of our trade. We moved down from 21 to 32. With the Eagles, little Keystone State trade. We got number 32, a third round pick, and a fourth round selection. And they got number 21. They took Nick Emanwari. We dropped down and came away with Walter Nolan. Thank you, Vinay. Feed Caldwell some pierogies, make him big snack. I think he's already big snack. He's already a pretty big dude. What was he listed at? 6'1", 340. Yeah, I think he's eating pretty good over there. Am I buying reports about Shuck going late first, early second? It's so much noise, especially with quarterback. I really just throw my hands up. I thought for a while I would put Shuck in my final mock at 83 in the third round. I think he'll be gone by then. I think late first is maybe pushing it, but could it be a top 50 guy, top 40 guy? I can see it. I think the one guy I follow, Nick Underhill, he's a really good reporter for the Saints. He's talked about their interest in Shuck. I get to see the Saints taking Shuck in the second round. So I don't think DH will scare teams up. Brandon Ween was a first-round pick, and he was 28. Shuck isn't even that old. Kobe Bryant. The 464-pound D tackle is Desmond Watson. I wonder, is he on here? Let's actually see if he's on here. I should just search for his name. He's not even on here. Well, that is unfortunate. We need the petition to get him into the rankings. Randy Wagner, good to hear from you, Randy. I get so excited about drafts that this feels like the real world Alex, adrenaline soaring high. Hey, I'm glad you're having a good time. Hopefully everyone's enjoying themselves. I appreciate it very much. Tommy, I get on CJ West. He just went off the board, though. So he is gone. He went a couple picks ago. Pierre Miller, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you liked the draft. And again, we're going to have a ton of draft coverage the next week. I'll have my final mock draft. I'll try to do a video breakdown of it too. And we'll have, of course, post-draft reaction each day as A. Frazier, the long ball hawking corner, one of just the latest out of UTSA. Goes to Washington. All right, it's Baltimore and then us. I should have made a poll. I forgot to make a poll. We're going to go Jamari Caldwell or Dante Thornton, the receiver out of Tennessee. So just throw in the chat who you guys think should be the pick. It's going to be one of those two names. There is some value in Holland Pierce, but just to kind of keep it simple, Thornton or Caldwell. I did not like Ja'Cory Brooks. Yeah, I really was down on his tape, and he had a really bad pro day workout. He probably won't be drafted. Let's see who the Ravens took. Torrey Horton. So any Horton talk is no longer even viable. Caldwell. I like Dante Thornton. I do like Dante Thornton. Some big play potential with him. Pierce or Caldwell. Thornton. Got some Thornton love. Horton just went. Mike's heart's broken, I'm sure. 30 seconds. Dante Thornton, Jamari Caldwell. I'll eyeball it. Whoever seems to get more votes will be the pick. It's a fairly decent split, but I think Caldwell maybe just edging out Thornton. So we're going to go Jamari Caldwell, double dip along defensive line, got Noel in the end, get Caldwell the nose tackle. And that is our fourth round. So Walter Nolan, Will Howard, Andrew Makuba, DJ Giddens, Jamari Caldwell. That's a pretty good looking draft class so far, if I do say so myself. I don't know if I would have gone Thornton or Caldwell here. Would have been close. But I like your suggestions. We had Caldwell. Kind of the plan was to go running back and then potentially double dip on D-line. So I like it. And so we are through round 4 with 4 picks left. I'm going to probably try to trade up at some point to shorten this thing a little bit. But we're not going to do that maybe right now. Could we trade up for Dante Thornton, though? Could we try to maybe get a trade together? I'm not sure what that would look like. Josh, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Glad you're stopping by again. Have a great night, man. Thank you, Ghost. I appreciate that, too. Have a great team that keeps us informed. I certainly can't do it all myself. Yeah, Mike, I think it's a good thought about trading up for Thornton. What are the other receivers out there? Let's take a look. Again, I do not love this receiver class. Nick Nash was uber productive at San Jose State. I was not a big fan of Pat Bryant. There's Ricky White, Chisholm, Tesla, Brew McCoy. He had some injuries. I like Zachary Franklin. He was a really good receiver at UTSA. I remember watching Josh Cephas and Franklin popped, and he was like out of college football. He wasn't out of college football. He didn't do anything last year, Franklin. And then goes to Illinois. Bryant got the attention, but I thought Franklin made some plays. Weiss was Burden's teammate. Yak guy's got some size. His speed's not really there. Yeah, I was not a fan of Ja'Cory Brooks. And then there's Mumfield, the local kid out of Pitt, who was by way of Akron, when Tom Arth, Pittsburgh's quarterback coach, was the head coach at Akron. Trade up for Thornton. Trying to think what that trade would look like. We have a trade offer. Speaking of trades, Buffalo takes Jordan Phillips. Larry's here in our trade talk. We forgot Larry's. He's got a bug in the room. No, we're not getting oops all berries, oops all 6-round selections here from Larry. Can we do a deal with Cleveland though to move up? No, he doesn't have anything until the 6th round, so he's gonna be sitting there for a little while. Holland Pierce is still on the board. Classic Larry. Thank you, Mark. I'm glad you like it. Jolly Roger report says, gotta be Nick Nash. Potential is crazy for a 5th, so he's on the Nick Nash train. Yeah, that was it. Franklin was at Ole Miss last year. Yeah, it was weird. He really didn't play. I don't know if there was an eligibility thing. I have no idea what happened with Zachary Franklin, but you watch sometimes a guy and you're watching Josh Cephas. Was it Josh Cephas, or am I getting his name wrong? Whoever the UTSA receiver was, and Franklin just showed up a lot, so caught my attention, kept him in the back of my mind. He was giving you more ammo for a trade up, yeah, maybe, but I don't want to cheese it too much and give a team a bunch of 6-round picks. And yeah, we can make it work. Try the Titans. Let's see what the Titans got going on. That's the wrong button. I don't like how it resets the draft each time I click on a team. It's a lot of scrolling. Oh, be the top of the 5th round. They're getting pretty close. If I gave up a 6, if I gave up a 7, and like we have comp picks next year. If I gave up next year's 5th, maybe something like that. It was Cephas. Okay, trying to think. Thank you. I'm gonna have to wait though on I don't want to make that move and then Thornton goes to the Niners or Minnesota or something, and I've just traded up for nothing. We're gonna have to wait. Burke has been taken. Yes, Burke went in the 4th round. I think he's gone though, wherever he went. Nick Nash, I really think if he develops, he could be a good receiver too, although could easily be a practice squad player. So that is Jolly Roger report. Pirates a win today, 1-0. Andrew Heaney pitched a heck of a game. Dennis Santana shut things down in the 9th. Is he the new closer, or is it kind of closer by committee until Bednar gets called back up? And I'm not sure what role he'll have initially whenever he is called back up, if they'll do more low leverage stuff or not. Not to make this Pirates talk, because it's mostly depressing. Thanks for sticking with me, everybody. What is the auto-generated AI YouTube summary? Viewers are expressing their opinions on who the Commanders should choose between Caldwell and Thornton in the upcoming NFL draft. I don't think Commanders is the right AI response. There goes David Walker. Really productive FCS pass rusher. Probably needs some line depth. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. We look at Charles Grant. The O-line class is not super strong. Let's take a look at it, though, since CVP mentioned it. We got Holland Pierce, Logan Brown, Jalen Travis, Jack Nelson. Along the interior, who do we have? Kandra, Majors, Drew Kendall. A couple of Boston College offensive linemen get drafted this year, and Trapillo gets drafted first. Already been drafted in this mock. And Drew Kendall, if he gets called back up, he'll get called back up. He's pitching well down in AAA. They're going to give him another chance. Yeah, Damian Martinez is just that good running back class. So we talk about the draft kind of really getting a good feel for how it might actually work. Running backs tend to fall a bit to begin with. They're not the highest priority position. There's Devin Neal. All the guys I like go to Baltimore. You know the rules. And so these running backs will fall. I mean, you're in the 5th round, and there's still some talent in Martinez and Harvey, in Blue, Hunter. Is Krosky Merritt on here? Yeah, Krosky Merritt has gotten some buzz. He didn't get to play this year with the eligibility concern, but LaQuint Allen can be a really good 3rd down back. Taj Brooks, I think, will be a really good 3rd down back. Brashard Smith is very fast. I mean, you talk about just depth you don't typically get. All right. We're going to pick here almost in the 5th round. Oh, yeah, Tennessee. We were going to do that trade with Tennessee. We'll have to try that here in a minute. Captain Spartan likes Rivers out of Miami. Thank you, Craig. Yeah, Tom had a high grade on Makuba. I felt like that was really good value. And there goes Holland Pierce. Thoughts on Woody Marks? I didn't study him. He was not in my running back rankings post tomorrow. I didn't end up getting to study him. My memory of Woody Marks is him forcing that fumble off of Kenneth Grant against USC, which is kind of a fun play. But yeah, he's gotten some buzz. That's another day 3 guy that will have some value. What do I think about Jackson Haas? He can block. That's kind of going to be his role. And so I kind of get that as a Darnell Washington insurance. And listen, Michael Pruitt played a good amount of snaps last year when he was healthy as that third blocker. So I could see tight end. It's a good tight end class. Conyers was the former high school quarterback. That's really interesting athlete, really cool backstory there. I don't know exactly what to do with the guy, but he's interesting. There's Haas. I like Gadsden. Tom Meade likes Fedone a lot. Dupree can block at Alabama. The Niners take Joshua Gray. Gonna make our trade offer here. Maybe make a push for Dante Thornton. Edge here. We're looking... Not sure if we're looking edge yet. Power Island. I liked his tape, but this lack of length is the concern with him. Q Robinson is interesting. I heard he might get some buzz. He's a good special teams player. He's got some size and length. Yeah, Willie Lampkin. Talked about him earlier. Fullback potential. Pierre, I think you're getting first-round worthy D-line, not expending a whole lot for a quarterback is the way. Only way it would have been better is if you had gotten Harmon or Grant. Don't want us going quarterback early. Fair. Good thoughts. Thank you for sharing, Pierre. Any slot corners? Yeah, I talk about slot corner a lot. Upton Stout, he was a safety. He played all over, but he's going to be a nickel. Huzzy is got return value, and he's an aggressive nickel. Had some good games against Pitt. So that's a good call. We can look at some slot corners too. Especially if Thornton isn't there. All right, let's look at Tennessee. Hopefully Carolina doesn't take him. Can I please offer the trade? Why can't I offer the trade? Am I missing? Oh, because I didn't choose anything for Tennessee. Oh, they rejected immediately. Carolina, you want to do a trade? Oh, they don't want to do a trade. And I'll give you next year's 7th. Trying to click. Oh. Denied. Denied. Big Red Legend. Yeah, he's a guy that could have gone to Michigan, was almost about to go to Michigan to replace Sanders still. He decided to stay loyal, and you got to respect that. He ran well. I was worried about the long speed. He ran in the 4.4s, I think, at the combine. So it's going to be a fun nickel prospect. Offer a 4th. That's a little high. There goes Ollie Gordon. I mean, I could offer, obviously, like, next year's 1st, because who cares, and just get the deal done. But I don't know if we'll do that. I want to keep it. I want to have some integrity to these trades. Can we do anything here? Next year's 5th? How's that rejected? How do they reject that? I think at a 6? Come on, man. Man, Tennessee just want nothing to do with me. Got to get Stout, currently finishing cornerbacks. All right, Tennessee does not want to trade. Who do they take? Maybe it's Dante Thornton. Maybe they heard. Maybe they're like Larry, and they're listening in to our conversations and say, we're not budging. Now they go Peebles. He's productive, undersized, but productive. All right, now we're going to try to trade with every team and hope somebody says yes mode. Jacksonville? Yes, no? Did they want to respond? Hey, they accepted. All right, we're on the clock. Well, we know what we're doing. We, friends, where is he at? We're going to take Dante Thornton, trading back up with Tennessee. We gave up our 5th, the 6th, and the next year's 5. We're going to get some comp picks back, though, next year. And we're going to draft Dante Thornton. There you go. Done. Tennessee would not let us get the Tennessee receiver. Good point. But we got him with Jacksonville. It is difficult to trade with a CPU, but we made it work. What else do we have pick-wise? We got a 6 and a 7. So I'm happy with that. I am happy with these outcomes. I may take that 7th and trade up because I don't know if I want to be here for 2 whole more rounds. Like I said, I want to try to maybe be done by 11. Yeah, it's pretty good draft. Halfway Contra says, like and sub, thank you very much. Yeah, good reminder if you guys like the stream. Or if you don't, please subscribe either way. It probably was a little much to get Thornton, but there's some real big potential. There's a little Martavis Bryant vibe. My official comp to him was Valdez Scantling. I mean, the route tree is limited. He is true boom bust. But when he hits big, and this is an offense looking to create big plays and maybe kind of red shirts, quote-unquote, this year a bit. But if George Pickens exits, then Thornton can really see some playing time. I think any receiver they draft, they're just going to struggle to see playing time in a 2-receiver-based offense with Pickens and Metcalf, assuming Pickens remains a Steeler, with Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson year 2. I think even Wilson's going to struggle to see a lot of involvement. I mean, he'll play some. I'm happy to see him healthy and get eyes on him, get an evaluation of his game in the summer, but, it's not... I think Pittsburgh really should not be drafting a receiver early this year, and some of the clues have suggested they would. Now, they do trade Pickens, the equation changes, but Thornton's one of those top day 3 guys, and of course, Zach Azzani at that Tennessee Pro Day. He, of course, coached at Tennessee receivers several years back. Does he have better hands? I think there were some drop issues with Thornton. It's probably pretty comparable. It's one reason for the comp there. Yes, Thornton's big. He's like 6'4", 220. He's a big guy. He has a height, weight, speed, downfield, all verts and slants. That's what he was at Tennessee in that Josh Heupel up-tempo offense. He had 26 catches last year, but like 600 yards. I mean, he is boom bust kind of a guy. Offensive lineman with the next pick. We could, John. We could. Yeah, there's going to be some Martavis vibes. Damn, that wasn't my official comp, but I don't know if he's quite as fluid as Bryant. Bryant was like more athletic beyond just running in a line. But when Thornton opens it up, which he does often, there's a real second gear in his route running, which is really, really impressive. You kind of get a Bryant feel in open grass. Is Sorrell out of Texans still on board, the edge rusher? He is. He's near the top. He's still there. So is Elijah Roberts. Yeah, I think dealing by the deadline, do you want to sell if you're a team trying to be competitive, though? I mean, we'll see. If they get a really good offer in the draft, I think they've done some homework on receivers. I think their intention is to keep George Pickens, to make this offense work. You trade Pickens. Now you're kind of in a similar boat as last year where, okay, we have one receiver. He's going to draw a lot of attention. Who else is going to step up? If you do sign Aaron Rodgers, historically, rookies have not flourished with Rodgers. It's a pretty high bar that Rodgers sets, which is not a critique, but it is reality. I think about Malachi Corley last year, who did nothing. He was also really, really raw, but I think he'd like to keep George Pickens. You have Pickens, Metcalf on the outside, 2 big-time vertical receivers. Teams, the coverage shells you'll see will be different. You'll see a lot of too high, soften up the run. It can really open up your offense, open up your run game. So I think they want to keep George Pickens. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that. Hi there, great picks. Love the trade down in the first round. Greetings from Santiago, Chile. We have content in Spanish. Steelers Nation goes worldwide. Here we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate the commentary. Glad you're up here, staying up with us this night. And yeah, Steelers Nation is everywhere. It is big in Mexico and Brazil, Chile, apparently as well, which is fantastic. So I appreciate the shout out and appreciate you being here. Ryan, Alex, you're the number 1 Pittsburgh Steelers reporter on X. The detail of your training camp reports are second to none. Keep up the good work, champ. Ryan, thank you so much. Very kind of you to say. I appreciate it. DB or edge? We'll see. We'll see. What What do we have at off-ball linebacker? I like Teddy Buchanan. I thought he had a really good year transferring from UC Davis. Dumas Johnson had a good pro day workout. Sean Dolock's gotten some love too. Oh, let's see. Damian Martinez is still there. What offensive linemen are out there? We looked at them earlier. What about tight end? Conyers is still there. Any O-line project player in the 6th round? I'd have to look at probably a better list of names. If we just kind of look through this list. Chase Lunt, Logan Brown is athletic. Jack Nelson's played tackle, guard. He's experienced. Vincent from Alabama. Is that Alabama A&M? Yeah, it's not a great O-line class. It really thins out. Everyone's looking for O-line help. And then Lampkin we've talked about as a really unique offensive lineman at legit 5'10". Go O-line. Yeah, I think O-line depth certainly could be addressed. Bruner, yeah. What about Carson Bruner? I think that certainly is a Steelers pick if I've ever seen one. Where is he at on here? Where is Carson Bruner? He's got to be on here. Carson Bruner's not on here? What is this? What is this board? He wants the biggest freak left on the board. Conyers might be that guy. He's pretty freaky. Vernon Broughton. Yeah, who are the freak athletes? Pegues he didn't test as well as I thought, but he was a cool little fullback. Defensive lineman who had 7 rushing touchdowns. Malachi Moore is still there. Dang, I didn't realize that. I like Malachi Moore a lot. We have not taken a corner. Ooh, that is tempting. What's the haul so far, Zach? It's on screen. Walter Nolan, Will Howard, Andrew Makuba, DJ Giddens, Shamari Caldwell, and Dante Thornton made a couple of trades. Do we triple dip D-line? That's probably too much. Triple dip. Check the edge, please. Sure, we can look at it. Yeah, there's some names on here. Sorrell, Diggs, Power Island, Robinson, Joyner, Johnny Walker, and Dave's a fan. Chambliss even at Georgia, I think at 6.5 sacks last year. There's some edge guys. There's some edge guys to talk about. No, you're good, Zach. Yeah, there's some late. I can see Pittsburgh taking a day 3 edge. If you look at, not that he's in charge of the draft, but Andy Weidel in Philadelphia, the Eagles always took late round pass rushers. Kyron Johnson was one of them one year, which one-time Steeler. And I think some of these guys like Q Robinson probably gone by this point in the actual draft, but there's some names on there. Pittsburgh has shown a little bit of interest in edge, which is interesting. Larry making trades with Miami. What would Larry do here? Larry moving up. Getting wow, that's a pretty good deal. Move up 3 spots. Next year's 7th. What is Larry thinking? Is he taking Malachi Moore? Is he listening in? I mean, I wasn't able to get him or trade up for him or anything. Not at that particular spot. Let's see what Larry does. Yeah, Watson is not on this board, but it'll be a fun name to talk about. Yeah, Larry. Classic Larry. I was gonna consider him. We're drafting for 2 teams tonight. The bill is in the mail. Moore played nickel and free safety, so he's listed free safety here, but he played both. He didn't run great. He had an injury. I think he ran 4.57, which was kind of like what I expected when I watched his tape, but I liked his tape overall. I know there was that Vanderbilt game where he was super, super upset and threw his helmet, but I've heard really good character things about him otherwise. I wouldn't let that one moment, not that you're saying that, but I've heard some people say, there were issues with him. I really don't think that's true. I think just a bad moment and a tough loss when Alabama loses to Vanderbilt. It's kind of crazy, but kudos to Vandy. I like Craig Woodson. You know, Gerald Alexander, the Steelers DB's coach, recruited Craig Woodson to Cal. And could he bring him to Pittsburgh? Not that you're recruiting, obviously, but Woodson ran well at the combine, better than I thought he would. He's versatile, he's experienced, he's instinctual, he's got some size. Couple Cal DBs this year. There's Marcus Harris, who I just finished writing the report on. He was not part of Alexander. He just came up as a transfer from Idaho. Roll potatoes, Kibby Dome, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I think I could see Craig Woodson being a Steeler on day 3. I might try to trade up here. We got a 6, we got a 7. We've already traded a future pick. LV says, happy belated birthday, Dave, if you're listening. Dave, if you're here, happy belated birthday. Oh, yeah, Patrick. Yeah, that's what Larry's doing, but that's okay. How about getting a fullback? I don't think they list any fullbacks. Yeah, no fullbacks. Some tight ends would have to convert. Larry, he knows. He knows what he's doing. Who would I want to trade up for if we do make a trade? Maybe Q Robinson. Might take Q Robinson. Don't do that, Larry. Don't steal him from me. Any other nickel corners? Yeah, we did look at that, I think, and then I kind of got sidetracked. Stout, Huzzy, we talked about earlier. Muhammad, I think we'll kick inside. Wally, he played outside, so you could project inside. I don't want to just assume every small guy goes to the slot, but Pittsburgh brought him in for a visit. I like his ball skills, and he's an aggressive, he's a willing enough tackler, I should say. There goes RJ Harvey. That's a speed for that offense that fits well. Carlin Vigors is a long outside corner, but the tackling was kind of rough on tape. But what about is Gabe Taylor? I don't think he's in this class. There's the Canadian quarterback. Gabe Taylor, I liked his tape. I thought he was worth drafting. He's the younger brother of Sean Taylor. Gabe Taylor out of Rice. Larry's out of picks. I didn't even realize he was out of picks. Larry's our Connor Stallions. There you go. Alex, you heard any rumors about who the opponent will be in Ireland? I think it's less likely to be Green Bay, especially if Rodgers signs. I think they want that to be a primetime game, I'm sure. There's Willie Lampkin. He goes to the Giants. How about that? That's fun. Yeah, and Miami has all the fast running backs. No question, Jalen Wright, and now RJ Harvey. Yeah, Mark, on the opponent, somebody mentioned maybe Buffalo. I don't know. It just, whoever it'll be. We'll find out in about a month when the NFL releases their schedule, and maybe we'll know a little bit beforehand, too. Can I make a trade? Can we maybe move up? It's going to probably ask a lot to do that. The Dolphins are about to pick. I'm not going to get the trade off in time. Cincinnati. Do we trade in the AFC North? Nah, it's fine. I mean, Larry was good people. It's a mock draft, That's the hardest part of the day is a guy having some fun in a mock. My day went pretty well. All right, what does Cincinnati do? Can we trade with them? They got a bunch of... You want more 6th-round picks, Cincinnati? It's probably not going to work. Not sure how a bot takes a while to respond. Like, isn't it just an auto? There we go. All right, it's rejected. Move up for Frazier. Well, if it's Miles Frazier, he just went off the board, and Zay Frazier's gone. I'm not sure if there's another Frazier I'm missing. What are the Bengals picks so far? Tyler Warren. They have Kyle Williams. This was a trade with the Jets to move up a spot. All right. Weird. Who did the Bengals take? Biggies. Jets. You want to trade? If not, I'll try to trade up in the 6th round, I guess. Oh, let's see. Because I probably don't want to have to... Yeah, I don't want to go all the way through to the 7th round. Maybe we can do this. Come on. Somebody just trade with me. The Jets, who will they take? I'll show you the picks here in a second. There goes Damian Martinez. Wow, that's great value. Our picks, Walter Nolan, we traded down with the Eagles from 21 to 32, picked up a 3rd and 4th round selection, took Nolan. Will Howard in the 3rd round, quarterback Ohio State. Andrew Makuba, 3rd round from our pick from Philly, safety from Texas. DJ Giddens in the 4th round, running back from Kansas State. Jamari Caldwell, also acquired in that Eagles deal, defensive lineman, nose tackle from Oregon. Traded up for Dante Thornton in the 5th round. And those are the 6 picks we've made so far. Miles Hinton from Michigan, is that what we were looking at? I don't know if he's on. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Buffalo, if it's a bad loss, but yeah, they beat Buffalo in week 1 in 2022. So they'll probably have a home field feel in Ireland, I think, for Pittsburgh. Thank you. Appreciate the Draft This Fire comment. Trevor Etienne to pair with Najee Harris. Little maybe Thunder Lightning type of a deal they're doing over there in Harbaugh land. Oh, let's see. Green Bay. What do we got? Green Bay. I don't think anyone's going to want to do this trade. Any humans still drafting? Go back to the Eagles? They're probably not going to want to do anything, though. I got a bunch of 5th round picks, though. Maybe be a friend here, Philly. Do you need all those 5th round picks? Do you need 4? Do you? Yeah, there's not a lot of humans, though. We got Eagles guy. Yeah, unfortunately, couldn't do the... it's more fun with more people and those cool walk-the-mocks that were done. Does anyone know, was that done this year? The walk-the-mock kind of official draft with analysts and people, nerds like me, like they had, last year, where I know a couple guys would live stream. There was a Carolina guy that would always live stream. I'm not sure what happened. I just hadn't really followed it and didn't hear anything. I think J.K. Dobbins is still a free agent. He was slated for free agency. I don't believe he was signed. So I think he's still available. Probably will be a post-draft signing is my guess. So it doesn't factor into team's comp formula situations. Eagles guy. No response yet. Bleacher Report did one, yeah, but did the walk the mock, like they always tweet about, their sign-ups and their official accounts? I don't think they did. I mean, Not going to sound super arrogant, but I think I would have been invited if they had done it. I'd like to think that I represented things well, had a good live stream turnout. It's been a different year. We had our fan speak issue where they got rid of some of the mock off season stuff, and then this was a little bit different, but still fun. It's just fun to do with you guys, just talk and see what you guys think and just see what a draft looks like. And it was also useful, as we talked about earlier, to kind of get a feel of, oh yeah, the draft kind of really thins out by the third round. Oh yeah, running back really, there's a ton of depth there. We can really wait for a while in the position. Where do the quarterbacks go? What does that potentially look like? And it just kind of gave you a little clarity. You never know what happens on draft day, but it was kind of cool to do the exercise. And my first time doing something like this, I'll do my full 7-round mock draft and kind of get a sense of that too, but that's just me doing it on my own independently, being a super nerd, so it's not exactly going to give you the same feel as a draft with even bots and just kind of a full exercise like this. What was with the Will Howard logic? Just a quarterback. I thought he was a good player, and you get a long-term, not a potential long-term guy, but a 4-year contract. And so even if Rodgers signs and he's gone after 2025, you have Rudolph under contract, you have Howard under contract, you have some options for 2026, and don't feel like you're starting over the way Pittsburgh has for the last 2 off seasons, where it just start from scratch at quarterback. Yeah, the fan speak change. Yeah, that was unfortunate for a mock off season, but we made it work. It turned out fine. Corner thins out quickish. Yeah, you're right, Captain Spartan. It is. We looked at like the 4th round, and there's some slot options I like, but on the outside there is not a lot. That is for sure. I mean, we're here in the 5th round. We still have Jaden Blue and Hunter and Smith and Brooks, and it's always one of these Rutgers modern guy. There's always one of these guys at Rutgers, and LaQuint Allen and Krosky Merritt. I mean, it's just really good running back class, really deep. So does Pittsburgh wait? Do they wait till the 4th round the way we did? Or do they take one in the 3rd round just to try to get, maybe their guy? Rocket Sanders, Jordan James, Marcus Yarns, a small school from Delaware. Moffat, I think, had some injuries, but there was some productivity with him. I mean, it's a really good class. All right, did we try to maybe trade up? I never heard back from that guy. Let's see. Who's right after? Okay, the Eagles pick back to back. Houston, you want to dance? It's just I don't have a whole lot of capital to offer right now. I did watch some Howard at Kansas State. I watched the Texas game where they got down early. They were down like 17-0, I think maybe 24-7, and then he brought them almost all the way back. They lost in overtime. It obviously wasn't as clean as Ohio State. What I needed to do, and I really never have done as in-depth as I should, was watch some of the earlier year Ohio State stuff. I was watching a lot of late season playoff game because I wanted to see Howard in the biggest moments, and I know he struggled more, Howard did, early in the season. I watched the Michigan game live, and I'm sure I watched it watching other prospects too. But I also just think about, okay, yeah, Howard struggled more early in the year, but you're in a new system, you're in Chip Kelly's scheme, you're kind of getting used to things, your teammates. Like, I would expect a rockier start, and he just played great football at the end of the season, which I think you would expect from a guy in his first year at a program. So I don't hold that against him maybe the way some others do. I know there's issues certainly in his game. The velocity, does he really drive the football well? I mean, no. There's some questions over processing and reading defenses too. I don't know. I the games I watched, which I have in the report, I really liked. The touch, the accuracy. A lot of quarterbacks have big arms and they can throw fastballs all day, but can they throw the slider that paints the corner? And I think Howard can do that. Nice bet's a very good Eagles pick, or a classic Eagles pick to take Teddy Buchanan, who was just all over the tape whenever I watched him. Playmaker, athletic, high character. Love those chip on their shoulder guys, and that's Teddy Buchanan at UC Davis. He was a 2-star recruit, and yeah, I liked his tape. He was my sleeper day 3 guy. Other guys I like, a couple of safeties, Hunter Wohler from Wisconsin, Dan Jackson from Georgia is going to be a really good special teamer. That's the guy you'd look at taking. Where do they have Dan Jackson on here? 264. How do I feel about the first year conference realignment? I hate it. I hate change in general. It's weird talking like Big 10 with Oregon. I want Pac-12 after dark. I want my conferences back. It's just, yeah, I don't like it. I think it's dumb, but it's big business, and it's the way it goes. Eagles getting some linebacker help. Diggs will play with his hand down. Would J.K. Dobbins be a good signing? Yeah, I mean, if they didn't take a running back for that speed element, Dobbins just had the health issues, but post-draft it'd be cheap. I mean, that'd be fine to do. The only running back I don't want him to go sign is Nick Chubb. I just think Nick Chubb has had a great career, but I'm just out on Nick Chubb after his injuries. There just was no juice in his legs last year. Yeah, I think Howard did have that concussion. I don't know all the details around that, but that was definitely a poor game. Yeah, didn't Dobbins and Rodgers, didn't they tear their Achilles at the same time? And didn't they go to the same rehab facility? Wasn't there I think Rodgers did a McAfee interview and Dobbins, I think, was there. Someone can correct me. So that's an interesting connection, but you're just waiting on Rodgers to decide, and that is a trade rejected. Can I make a trade up? It's a little after 11. Can I go to just top of the 6th round, maybe? Can I do that? Oh, man. Can I just move up a little bit? I just want to move up a couple of spots. Somebody's got to say yes with this offer at some point, no? Well, I'm going to be clicking until somebody does, until somebody accepts. I guess if they're going off the trade value chart, the 7th round pick, I'm sure, has negative value, so... Oh, okay, that was accepted. Well, okay, something was accepted at least. Where do we move? Where do we go? Chargers? Yeah, we did. All right, moved up in the 6th round, so we'll make our pick there. Who do you want in the last pick? We should talk about that. I have an idea of who I want. Top of the board, Jalen Conyers. Kyle McCord is still there. Jackson Hawes, Jack Kaiser, Chase Lump. We could look at O-line depth. Logan Brown, Cornelius, which is just fun to say. Power Ryland, Kobe King had a good pro day process and workout. Upton Stout. There are some of those corners. I was looking at Q Robinson from Alabama, the edge rusher. That was kind of my thought if he's there, which he probably will be. Maybe will be. Hopefully will be. But if there's a big consensus on somebody else, feel free and we can take him. That's no problem. I wish Watson would be fun, but he is not in the queue. He's not an option for us. Yeah, run by you just again with Howard's accuracy, his touch, his layers. I thought he dropped the ball in the bucket consistently, even though he had a lot of talent. I didn't feel like Jeremiah Smith and company, Ibuka had to really strain to make plays. They didn't make these highlight reel catches that just bailed them out. They made great plays. Obviously, they did things post-catch. They're fantastic receivers, but I thought Howard worked with them well. As the Eagles take Kyle McCord. Yeah, the nickel options, kind of the names we've discussed here. Upton Stout, Huzzy, Muhammad, really the top 3 listed. Potentially Wally are kind of the top slot names. Upton Stout replaced Beanie Bishop. That's funny. I didn't realize that at Western Kentucky. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think the story was something like Michigan was recruiting him. He took a visit to Michigan, almost went there, changed his mind, decided to stay at Western Kentucky. And then I think the day that he decided to affirm his commitment at Western Kentucky, they had that horrible tornado that came through, that I think F4 tornado. And I just remember reading that, his story. Interesting guy. He either had or has a clothing line too he started. So he's got some cool pursuits outside of football. But again, we like talking about background on these guys just to kind of get to know the person a little bit too. But the tape matters most, and there was some good tape. It would have been interesting had he gone to Michigan to really kind of get a good view of Upton Stout against that top-end competition. But you kind of respect the loyalty of him staying. A lot of guys would have just easily chosen Michigan over Western Kentucky, and he stood pat at WKU. Yeah, Dobbins and Rogers rehab together, so interesting ties there. D2, I'm getting tired. D-Tackle first pick, 240 on FanDuel. Alex, free money, says John. There you go. There's John's tip of the day. I'm not a gambling man. D-line certainly could be the pick, and we've talked about that really since the offseason began. After Pittsburgh got rolled for $299 against Baltimore, you certainly look at D-line. It is hard to think, even with quarterback looming, and if you love a quarterback always wins out. But you allow, $299 to Baltimore. You get run all over. You release Larry Ogunjobi. You sign depth guys in free agency. You don't go after that starter. Aquale can play the run, but he's not playing 700 snaps and not playing in sub packages, not rushing the passer. It's hard to think you're not going to take D-line in what's a really good D-line class. And you could argue that, the depth supports the idea of waiting, but I would love to get the top talent in a deep and talented D-line class when it is a need with Cam Hayward's age. I mean, just so many factors that play into taking D-line. And so, unless there is a quarterback you love, if Shedeur falls, I personally would not take Shedeur in the first round. I like him. I don't love him. And if I don't love the guy at quarterback, I can't take you and make you the first round pick. But unless there's a guy they love at quarterback, it's hard not to go D-line if there's options. Especially if it's Derek Carr. And Kenneth Grant, I was a little more lukewarm on in his run defense. He's athletic. He's got more bend. He can one gap. Is he going to be able to really anchor against the run, which Pittsburgh does need? I think Harmon plays better run defense. So if Harmon's there, man, it just feels like he's a Steeler in the way that Benton felt like this is a Steeler. Now, they're not exactly the same type of guy, but they have a similar build and makeup, and you kind of get Steelers vibes when I watched Benton and when I watched Harmon. There's an easy Cam Hayward connection to make. My comp was Leonard Williams, but you can certainly argue that Harmon and Hayward are pretty similar dudes. Yeah, maybe it is Shedeur, Matt. I mean, it could be. I couldn't tell you. I mean, in my heart of hearts, I think the only quarterback they would take is Shedeur at 21. I know they've shown interest in Milroe and Dart, and just gut check time says no. Could be wrong. But if Shedeur does fall, then it becomes interesting. And do they maybe trade up if he gets past 9 and starts going down the board? I mean, I have no idea. Nobody has any idea. Can I go to O-line one more time? I can. Let's go back to all, and then O-line. We'll go interior. Logan Brown, top offensive lineman. Jalen Travis, who should be at Iowa State. He was transferred from Princeton, I believe. Jack Nelson. Truss. Kendall. Who's down the other bottom? Eli Cox. Thomas Perry from D3. We have a scouting report on Thomas Perry. I was in some Middlebury tape, and is also at the Shrine Bowl. So we go all out. Monheim was a guy that really fell off. I think he had gotten some buzz coming into this college football season and just kind of didn't have a great year. Yeah, just scrolling through all the names. Luke Newman's interesting. He was one of our mock drafts for our Depot team in the 7th round. I think he's a guard. Pat Bryant from Illinois. All right, we're going to come up here soon. I still was thinking Q Robinson. We could go corner. I'm not going to be super picky. Yeah, run by you. I'm with you. Yeah, Dave, I could offer just all my picks, but I don't know. I don't want it to be. I could. It feels a little cheesy. I'm trying not to do that. Mike, I would honestly be less mad if it was Milroe at 21 over Dart. In my report, I did give, when I first made the report, and this was pretty early on in the draft process, I put a higher grade on Milroe over Dart. I just really have a problem with Dart with Milroe's inaccuracy on the short intermediate throws. It just really seems like a pretty bad flaw. And maybe mechanically he can clean things up. I mean, there's a lot to like about him. He seems like a really good kid, really bright. He won the William B. Campbell Award for the academic Heisman. I think there's some leadership qualities to his game. And I'm not sold on Dart by any means. I think I'd probably... I don't know. I wouldn't take either guy at 21 is my short answer. If I had to choose between the two... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what I would do there. I mean, Milroe has more upside. And you can maybe play him in a sub-package role and a Fields role. If you sign a Rodgers, or assuming that Milroe doesn't start, and Milroe really can't start right away. So, it's interesting. We'll see. Tommy Hill went. Yeah, Tommy Hill's gone. He had that plantar fasciitis issue, and he tried to play through. It had some really bad tape against USC, and I think Indiana. Went to the Senior Bowl. I don't think he was fully healthy. And then reportedly at his pro day, I don't know, it was a Nebraska guy that just said he wasn't there. I don't know if the injury was a factor. I didn't see anything else about Tommy Hill, so I don't know what's going on there. He's upside. He's physical. He's a former receiver. He kind of bounced between receiver and corner. But, yeah, a little disappointing with that foot injury. Kind of really seemed to mess with him. We'll see if he even gets drafted. I'm not even sure if he'll be a draft pick at this point, if there's kind of concern about kind of what's his status. Quinn Ewers, that's one guy I really haven't gone back to watch. You know, could he be? We don't talk about Quinn Ewers enough, and he did have a good combine workout. I don't put a lot of stock in that, but one note that just comes to mind: could he be a third or fourth round pick for Pittsburgh? They certainly have done their homework on Quinn Ewers. I don't know. I just watched. I just didn't get a great feeling. Like to me, again, I look at Will Howard in the mid rounds, and that's kind of all I'm really banging the table for at quarterback. Everything else I'm pretty lukewarm on. I'm a go big or go home kind of guy, quarterback, and so I'm pretty rigid in that. I just didn't see it with the first round guys. And the mid round guys, it's kind of like, okay, you take a guy in the third, fourth round. Yes, there are some success stories. Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts in the second round, but it's like, is that going to be like? I always make the joke that if you take a third or fourth round quarterback, it's like, well, I hope our starter gets hurt so this guy can play so I can figure out what I have in him. I don't know. It just, these guys always just become okay. They're backups. Mason Rudolph in the third round. Okay, he became a good number two, but like, did that really do anything for you as a franchise? You're just still searching for a quarterback. I just don't really get excited about the mid round quarterbacks. The success rate's pretty low. And just kind of like, what are you going to do with that guy? So that's my stance. I'm pretty rigid, like I said. Yeah, the Bills have had a ton of picks. Start was long gone when I grabbed Howard. Howard was the last kind of the top name quarterbacks. I don't know if Quinn Ewers was gone. Is Quinn Ewers? Where's Quinn Ewers at? Who's even left at quarterback? Okay, yeah. Probably Mellett's fun. He could be a receiver conversion type. But Dart was gone. Shuck was gone. Of course, Sanders and Ward were gone. And Milroe was gone. So Howard was the sixth quarterback selected. Yeah, I know Ewers had some really tough tape. And there were a lot of questions. Would he get benched for Arch Manning? And was he hurt? Was Ewers hurt? A shoulder issue or something? And missed a bit of time. I'm not sure how much that played a role. But yeah, just for me, watching Ewers... And when he, had that Arizona State game where they came back, I didn't see it with Ewers. But we really haven't mentioned him a whole lot in the quarterback conversation. And if guys like Shuck go earlier than we think, and it sounds like Dart and Milrow are likely to be, top 40, top 50 at worst guys, potential first-round picks, then okay, we're in mid-rounds. We're talking Kyle McCord. We're talking Will Howard. We're talking Quinn Ewers. And we should probably pay more attention to Quinn Ewers in, I'd probably say the 4th round, but I won't discount the 3rd round either. Yeah, Haas can block. He's a good blocker, good inline guy, Josh. So that's what you're drafting him for. Should we look into anything into Omar getting a veteran corner so far? You have mentioned that it's been. I mean, it was happening before with Levi Wallace too. I just think they haven't found a long-term option. They're just kind of rolling through veteran guys. They want a veteran presence for Porter, and Slay was relatively cheap and available. But yeah, they've had a real rotating door at corner, no question, from Peterson and Wallace and Slay. And Dante Jackson trading for him. The pick here, since we're about to pick, what do you guys think? We should probably talk about that. I like Hugh Robinson. That was kind of what I was going to go with. What else could we potentially look at? Let's go Upton Stout or Q Robinson, chat. Let me know who you think we should take. Q Robinson or Upton Stout. We'll just make it pretty clean for our final pick of our 2025 Steelers Depot live mock draft. Yeah, Steven Nelson, another one. Yeah, Leonard. No, I'll pass on Riley Leonard. I like Shuck. I didn't love him. He's pretty comparable to Will Howard. Just the injury concerns and the age concern in the sense of, was he just kind of beating up on guys he was 5 years older than? He was just more mature. But yeah, I like Tyler Shuck, but not, bang the table. We got to draft Tyler Shuck. Is there going to be a pool for the next pick? No, John. I just mentioned it out. We're about to be on the clock here. Stout says Matt, says Mike. Lizard says Robinson. Golden Monkey says Stout. Throw Stout and Beanie in a cage and winner wins out. Corner too small. Or drafting the slot corner. They're not always big guys. What OTs or what tackles? It's the same kind of names really. Jalen Travis. Jack Nelson. Tampa Bay making their pick, and then it is us trading up here. Moving on up to get Dante Thornton. And also our last pick, Justin Wally goes. That would have been an option too. All right, Stout or Robinson? I didn't end up watching Curtis work. He had the ACL. You got to respect him playing through. But I'm basically, again, it's Will Howard or bust for me. Is my late round, 7th round quarterback, 6th round quarterback. What is that really doing for you? Looks like Stout's going to win this one out. So I will go with Upton Stout for our final selection. And we'll recap things. Out of Western Kentucky. Welcome to the team, Upton Stout. So our draft picks trading down from 21 to 32 in a deal with the Eagles to get Walter Nolan from Ole Miss, Will Howard in the 3rd round, quarterback, Ohio State, Angie Makuba, the safety from Texas, that was part of that 1st round trade down. And we got picks in the 3rd and 4th round from Philadelphia in the Nolan deal with the Eagles to draft Walter Nolan. Again, I'm getting pretty tired here. DJ Giddens in the 4th round, running back, Kansas State. Jamari Caldwell, defensive lineman, Oregon. 4th round, Dante Thornton. 5th round, traded up to get him, and then traded up to get Upton Stout, the corner out of Western Kentucky. So we make 3, 6, 7 selections. Lots of trading in the 1st round, in the 5th round, the 6th round. Our friend Larry having good times. Pens wins today. Pens did win today. Did Crosby get a point? Because he's 1 point away from 90? I didn't check a box score today. Yeah, Ultimate Elite says I'd be really happy with this draft. Did I not pronounce the earn correctly at end of words? I don't know. I'm a writer more than a talker, that's for sure. Let me put up one last poll. Let me get your input on the draft. Give me a draft grade. Seems like you guys are pretty happy with it overall. I'm pretty happy with it too. This happened on, if this was the actual results of the draft next week, I'm pretty good with that. Although Nolan, I'm a little less. I like the trade down. Nolan would not have been my pick, but I can see the logic in it. Set out a goal and an assist. All right, nice. Good note to him for him to go out on. All right, I'll do a couple more minutes. Any other Steelers questions, feel free to ask, and I will answer. I'm going to turn off the animations. So that is our draft, our 7 selections. Lizard still kind of interested in Scatterboo. Went to Denver. I just don't know if Nolan's the great scheme fit. Just felt like, is he really improving run defense in a significant way? But I see the logic. Yeah, maybe it's just my Pittsburghese talk there. I'll work on it. John, thank you for being here. I appreciate you always being here in these live streams. You're always asking the interesting questions about practice squad guys and, you know, not run-of-the-mill type of stuff. So I appreciate you being here. So let's see how I did grade-wise. Have that in the poll for you guys. And again, if you guys could like this video, but also, just as importantly, subscribe to the channel, share it, put the word out. It will have a lot of draft content for you guys with my final written mock draft of Steelers Depot Draft Roundtable tomorrow. We'll have a full 7-round mock draft for the entire NFL. Hopefully, I'll start on that this weekend. And, of course, react to all the news, reaction, analysis of the Steelers' actual picks beginning this time in just under a week. Actually, probably about 1 week from today, 11 o'clock, Pittsburgh at 21, draft starts at 8. It's about the time Pittsburgh will probably be on the clock, and we'll know their pick. And we have no idea what's going to happen. That's the fun of the draft. Mike Adesso, very generous, $20 super chat. Thanks, Alex. This was fun as always. Absolutely. It's always always look forward to doing this with you guys, and so I appreciate the super chat. All right, let me see the results. What grade did you guys give me? Hopefully you were kind. Let's end the poll. Let's see the results. And then we'll close up shop. B, 65%, A, 26%, C, 4%, D, 4%. So there we go. Not too bad. I'm good with that. I think a B is a good grade on that quarterback. Could be some controversy with that. I really wish I would have gotten Charles Grant, but I'm happy landing Makuba and then get a good back in Giddens, get a plugger and Caldwell, upside receiver in Thornton, and a feisty nickel corner in Upton Stout with Nolan at the top of our draft class. So, gonna wrap things up. Appreciate you guys being here. Again, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out SteelersDepot.com. I appreciate everyone who watched the video, commented, gave their opinion, and certainly those who gave super chats, including one here from Run By You, $5. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much. And Tommy, just okay on the draft. That's fair. Not going to be for everybody, but in terms of the picks. But Tommy, you were here. You had a really good interactions, and so I was happy to talk with you tonight. Randy Wagner here as well. And certainly, Randy, you could target quarterback next year, too. If you want to draft a quarterback in the first round, you absolutely will be in position to do so. And drafting Will Howard in the third round, to me, does not exclude or prevent Pittsburgh from doing that. All right, we're going to wrap things up. Appreciate you guys again. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon.